know you cool cats and kittens.
Welcome into the Fantasy Addicts Fantasy Football Podcast. We're coming at you live on Twitch.
We'll do it live!
Thank you all for hanging out as it counted down for the show to get going. We got a couple in the chat already. They were calling that the moment of silence for CMC, waiting for the show, and I couldn't disagree more. Christian's gonna be fine. Back, gonna miss 2 games just to stay, just so he can rest up for that push, get you into the playoffs, and win your fantasy championship.
Zeke for 120 and a touchdown, easy tonight, easy. Missed a touchdown already. We didn't miss a touchdown yet. No touchdown yet.
CeeDee Lamb should have got it.
It was close,
but they took it away. They're gonna just. CeeDee Lamb, I was telling Nick, is keeping Zeke's career alive with the little, the shuffle pass he gave him, trying to lateral it to him last game. Now giving him the setup for the easy touchdown.
Where's the lamb?
I wish they would have challenged and got the touchdown for CD, but Zeke has just enough left in those old legs to barely get it over the line.
I think I put a little wager on Zeke first touchdown.
Oh, you would. Shrimping.
Let me check.
It ain't easy. Oh, so Pollard is another guy that I picked up in a couple spots, so I didn't start him anywhere tonight.
I did, so I am now $75 richer than I was before the Zeke touchdown.
Nick, on Monday night streams is just cashing in.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm up like almost $350 over
Congratulations
the past 10 days.
to you. Hope that luck rubs off on everybody else. Everybody's cashing tonight.
Well, I got to make money on that since I'm not going to be making money on fantasy football this season.
Will Goddard have over 20 points tonight? No, he will not.
No.
So hopefully that helps you and doesn't hurt you.
Cambo already flaming me in the chat for telling him to start David Montgomery over Alexander Madison.
I think that if you were wondering which guy in the Discord you should listen to, I was right on all my calls and Nick was wrong on everything. The only guy that kind of proved me wrong a little was Tim Patrick had a decent day, and I told people not to play him.
What about Kareem Hunt, too?
Kareem Hunt?
I made some good calls in the chat.
I had no anti-Hunt.
Cambo got the bad side of one of my calls this week. I mean, I can't go,
I believe I recommended Alexander Madison over David Montgomery.
I can't go full 100% on this. Again, I try to eliminate risk, David Montgomery was the less risky play.
It was not great for the Chicago Bears. That's why now it's a hockey podcast, so go Blackhawks.
I don't even think we can do that. I hope not. The only way I beat Mets Rock, I need a win. What do you need from
a giant Goddard day is what he said. So he needs 20 from
gotcha.
The Go Dirt.
Man, it's all right. Okay. Campbell's let me off the hook a little bit. I will never trust Fields again. Me either.
Oh, he's got a long career ahead of him. He'll be fine. He wasn't even the problem.
He might as well be out of the NFL.
Pretty unanimous agreement across the Chicagoland area that the offensive line is trash and that Nagy is the worst coach in the world. They're all correct. Just ready to run him out of town on a rail.
Let's see. A moment of silence for CMC. Just saw that. Yikes.
He's fine.
I think he'll be back. I think he'll be back.
2 games to miss and then be back.
Yeah.
So here's the offer I floated for CMC. I sent Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Jerry Jeudy for Christian, and that was rejected pretty promptly.
So I posted in the Discord the sell high window on CH has begun. What are your thoughts? Are you buying CH after this performance or selling CH after this
I'm not giving him away. I think that it gave you enough faith that maybe you roll him out again, but I'm trying to trade if I can get value for him. I'm not giving him away. He's still the main running back on the high-powered offense. They just don't want to utilize him a lot, but they utilized him more in that game. I think he had 100 yards on the dot.
He did.
And a touchdown. So
the box score looked good, and I think this is the week to get rid of him.
Yeah, I think so too. But it also might be just an indicator that if you can't get rid of him, maybe you play the matchup a lot more.
CEH or Swift rest of the season.
I'd probably trade Clyde for Swift straight up.
I would too. And I think there's a little value disparity there right now. So CH is supreme talent who plays within his frame. CH is not bad.
Campbell wants to bring back Trubisky, who got into the game this week.
Big Mama's handing out biscuits, baby.
But again, I think that
the Bills got right.
If you threw Mitch out there with the same plan that they gave Fields, it would have been the same result because it was just they did an awful job. I saw
Nagy's got to go.
Rex Ryan just flaming Matt Nagy. Jimmy Graham retweeting some
retweeting his piss poor offense basically. Yeah.
There's a shot of Foles on the sideline just kind of mouthing like, this offense just isn't working.
It's just bad.
Yeah. Everyone in the world could see that it wasn't working. So for people to be like, oh, I can't believe these Bears players are pointing out that this is the worst thing they've ever seen.
We know.
The whole world could see it.
We know
a
this.
small child would be like, why is that man keep getting tackled in the back?
Too Risky says the proper words for Matt Nagy would get me banned.
Yeah.
That is correct.
So,
that is correct.
Yeah, not good. Not good.
Pocket, did you go to that David Portnoy thing in Aurora?
Oh,
I want to know how that
about
went. I know you probably lost $100 if you did, but
So
I want to hear.
Are
the
you ready
story
for the
behind it
Nagy
as well.
conspiracy theory I've heard going around that he doesn't like Fields and that actually the red rifle is his guy, and that's
I've heard
why
this.
he wanted Fields to fail so that he could have an excuse to throw Dalton back in.
I've heard
there.
this, but you can't do what you did.
No.
It
was
Woody
awful.
Bulldog with the sub. Thank you so
Hey,
much. Let's
thanks,
go. Hope
Woody
you all are
Bulldog.
having a good night.
All
We
right.
are. And we actually get another nice game here in week 3 with the Eagles Cowboys.
That was a Goddard play right there. So well on his
There we
way to
go.
the 20
Some
points you need.
Some points. Thank you very much for that sub, though. That
We
is
just jumped
very much
into it, so I think I
appreciated.
missed the introduction, but I am Mike the Fantasy Addict with co-host Nikki B here on Monday night, watching the Dallas Cowboys play against the Philadelphia Eagles.
And we're watching the Manning stream.
Yes, we are.
Not the regular
They
broadcast.
agreed with me that CeeDee Lamb should have just gotten that touchdown. It should be illegal to rule a wide receiver down at the 1, I believe. So
Yeah.
I liked it, but Zeke needed some
You're
points
just going to have to deal with it. You're
to
just gonna
keep
deal with
him relevant.
Landosaurus says, so I need Jalen to stay under 30 for a sure win. I think it's doable.
I need a combined 30 from Devontae Smith and Hurts to beat
So,
Marcy in the.
I did a little digging. They had the over-under on this game at 51 and a half, I think. And I looked historically. The last matchup, they went over 51.
And Hurts with an
picked up.
interception. So not going to help you on the
great
road
there.
to the victory.
The last game went over 51, and besides that, in the last like 10 or 12 games, the only time they went over 51 was if it went into overtime. So I think it'll be lower scoring than people think, despite the very early Zeke touchdown. That's just because Zeke is so OP.
Oh my gosh. Could it have been an easier setup for Zeke from the 1?
Banjo says, may try to move Zeke for Cook. Cook owner is a Cowboys fan.
Oh, for
if
sure.
you can do that, make that move.
Oh, yeah.
Make that move.
I'm kicking the tires on Cook and Christian McCaffrey, trying to buy them up where I can.
Nagy, the new Gase, I think.
So Nagy, it's interesting. He came in and he had that Coach of the Year season, and then he just can't get out of his own way. It's not going well.
Ethan, did CD just go down at the 1? He did. He did go down at the
Wah,
1.
wah.
Hey, Risky, go flame Ethan in the Dynasty chat. I need 17 from Zeke and PPR. Well, now you need 10, right? Or you still need 17 more.
Yep. So I need CD to outperform Devontae Smith minus 3 points to get the win in Dynasty. But my Dynasty team didn't show up great this week.
I need Dak to outscore Hurts by like 9 or 10 points.
I think that's pretty reasonable
That
from what we've
touchdown
seen
would've
so
helped.
far.
The touchdown would have helped.
I was on board for it.
Where's the lamb?
That's all right. Lamb will get another 2 or 3 touchdowns later. Last time I said that about a guy, though, he pulled up with a hamstring injury. Get healthy, Christian.
For sure. Gotcha, Pocket. I heard it was a good time, but I was hoping to get some boots on the ground, see what the whole deal was. Marcy, already jabbing us for beating us both this week.
Y'all butts? Did she call us butts?
I did.
I am offended.
She beat both y'all's butts. I think is what she's
oh,
trying to tell
I
us.
gotcha.
Yeah,
I missed the S. It makes a difference.
It's there.
Punctuation matters.
It's there. It's there.
All right. Well, congratulations,
I don't feel
Marcy.
great about it, but we'll just move on and keep trying.
Yeah.
Keep trying.
It's a long season, but
You hold the crown for now. But
Tip of the
just
head.
wait. It's a long season.
Let's
Marcy.
see. What do we got for?
And I think since we play in week 3, we'll play again towards the end of the regular
Yep.
season. So
All right. Long live the queen.
bring it on. Bring it on.
Savor the flavor.
Should we talk about waivers first or player performances?
Do you want to just jump into the waivers? Because I've got a hot pickup. Mike's pickup of the week. James White, running back for the Patriots, goes out with a hip subluxation, which is basically a dislocated hip. So Ramondre Stevenson, he's relevant again. Pick him up.
Oh my God.
Gonna be active next week. I got a feeling. Ready for a Ramondre touchdown. The breakout. Sorry you had to wait, but it's happening again. I'm back on the Ramondre train.
All right, so we got to address the big news of today. The biggest of news
Just
today.
the total collapse of the Bears offense.
No. That's minor news compared to the news that we got today. that Josh Gordon is coming back.
Josh Gordon.
Josh Gordon, Flash Gordon.
It doesn't matter
He's
at all.
He's coming back.
It just doesn't matter.
Oh, he's the number one waiver ad on Sleeper. Double the amount of ads that Chuba
People
Hubbard
who
has.
don't understand that he's done and he's washed and it's over and he's not going to be good.
Stop trying to make fetch happen.
So,
it's not going to happen.
Josh Gordon's not going to happen.
How many people in the last 10 years have had more than 1,650 receiving yards in a season?
How many? When? In 2012?
And Josh Gordon is one of them.
No.
He's elite.
It's been too long. He's
30.
old.
He's younger than Antonio
He's not
Brown.
elite. Again, like you say with Kansas City, he's just going to be another Pringle. He's just going to be another Mecole.
I think he completely replaces Tyreek Hill. Tyreek
How
Hill
old is Josh Gordon
done.
now? Is
He's
Josh
30.
Gordon 30?
He just turned. Well, he
He's
turned
been
30 in April.
suspended as many years as he's been alive. Just 30 times suspended.
I love it. Unless his name is Josh Tyreek Kelsey.
The
Gordon,
real
it
prop
doesn't
bet
matter.
should be what's the over-under for his next date of suspension.
Oh,
Like,
that's a Dak Prescott fumble in the end zone.
Oh,
and a
man.
touchdown.
Didn't see that one coming.
Unbelievable. That under is definitely in danger now.
In our keeper league, I do need Dak to have under 13 points to get the win in that one, and I do not feel good about it, but
Yeah, well, that's a start. That's a start. Anybody start the Eagles defense?
nobody at all.
There should
Not
be an
a single
incomplete pass.
person.
We got to see the play. We got to see the play.
Could be.
I'm pretty sure it was a straight up fumble. It looks empty. It looks empty.
I don't think the
forward.
ball hit the ground. That's the other thing.
Yeah. Banjo Hamler.
Here you go.
Yes.
So,
wrong
yeah,
with
the
it?
ball doesn't even hit the ground, so it doesn't even matter if his arm was going forward or whatnot.
It does.
No, it doesn't, because he
If
caught
it's
it before it hit the ground.
Okay.
So it's zero relevance
Yeah,
as to
I guess
where
you're
his
right.
arm was.
Well, did you watch the game last night where it was the incomplete but fumble weird thing that happened?
I said butt fumble. I just had jets running through my brain.
So if you watched the game last night,
I did watch it, but I'm a tired, sleepy dad.
yeah. So the arm's coming forward, empty, right? So it's a fumble. The ball's out.
Garoppolo.
Yes.
Okay, where he passed it backwards. I know exactly what you're
No,
talking
not
about.
where he passed it backwards. This is later on. He was throwing the ball, right?
Yeah.
His hand came through empty.
Okay.
The ball falls because it got hit, and the running back catches it. It never hits the ground.
Okay.
Right? And then the running back runs for 20 yards.
Okay.
What should be the ruling?
That should be a pass.
It's not. It was a fumble, and the ball stopped right there.
I guess that makes sense. So the arm, you said, wasn't coming
It was
forward?
empty. It was coming forward empty. So
he's
it was
back,
a fumble.
He loses the ball and then comes forward. So that makes sense that it was a fumble recovery.
But it never hit the ground.
That makes sense.
Does it?
Yeah, because I guess if it were to hit the ground, it would have been a fumble. But you can pass it. If you pass the ball backwards, it's not a pass.
No, but you
know what I'm saying?
He was throwing it. So it was
if you lateral it back to the running back, it's not
it was
a
a
pass.
weird play.
It
was a
doesn't
weird
count
play.
as passing yards after the backwards.
But we had basically the same kind of situation here, except the defense picked it up afterwards.
So it'll be a fumble.
It'll be a fumble.
If the arm was going forward, it would be an interception?
Correct.
All right, that makes sense to me.
Correct. Let's see. Tim Patrick. Tim Patrick had a nice, decent day. And again, he's going to be an okay flex play. He's going to be Cole Beasley. You want Cole Beasley or Tim Patrick?
The other note about Tim Patrick that makes me like him a little bit more is
Hamler's out?
the Hamler got a ACL. So I think that
he lost an ACL. He didn't get one.
Although they are different types of wide receiver, Hamler is more of the stretch the field guy.
Well, and
Just
Judy's out.
Another talented wide receiver that's not going to get targets.
Yeah, no, I think Tim Patrick's going to be somewhat usable now. I don't want him as my wide receiver too.
Eli Manning doing
Eli's
the
getting
Dak
after
hip
it.
thrust with salsa music. And I'll tell you, Dak looks like he's got more rhythm than Eli Manning. Just a hot take for you.
Oh, man. The Chiefs just got Gordon. So Le'Veon's seat on the bench is not empty. I'm still rostering Le'Veon Bell.
Bear fan Paul and Marcy making nice today.
Yep.
Even though the Packers come back and get that win, so the Bears fans were rooting against you.
So
an exciting finish to that.
What
game.
a blunder by me in the betting game last night.
Oh, tell me more.
So I put a bet in on the Packers to win because they were dogs. They were actually dogs to the 49ers. I'm like, I think the Packers can win this game. And then I'm like, no, the Packers are definitely winning this game, and there's got to be by at least 3 points. So I moved the line all the way to the Packers minus 2.5 points. And what happens? They win by 2, and I don't win my bet.
Oh, so close.
I actually made the other bet and canceled it,
So
and
far
remade
away.
the new one, and I lost. Unlucky.
Missed it by that much.
Unlucky. But I did have an MVS touchdown, so I still made money on the game. So I feel okay about that.
Oh, Marcy, we're always friends.
Yeah. You guys believers in Mike Williams, or is he a sell high guy that says pocket? I am selling.
I'm a believer in Mike Williams just because it depends. It depends on what you could get for him. Mike Williams, I don't think you can get the same that you could get for like a Cooper Kupp or a Tyler Lockett because he went late in drafts, because people still perceive Keenan Allen to be the number one guy on that team. If I could get like a talented wide receiver or, a good running, if I could get a good piece
Allen
from him,
Robinson or Mike Williams.
But Mike Williams, I'd take I've got him on team. I'm 100% starting Mike Williams over Allen Robinson until I see something out of Robinson.
Yeah, but do
I would
want him over.
I would make that trade because I think that Allen Robinson could be in a lot of trouble this year.
Okay.
And I didn't think that. I thought that, well, I mean, the optimistic Bears fan in me thought that Fields would come in and be good and elevate Robinson, but that offense was so bad. That line was terrible.
So our league mate put $100 on CeeDee Lamb first touchdown to win
And
over
missed it
1,000 and missed it by a
Missed
yard.
it by that much.
Missed it by a yard on $100 bet.
Nothing for you.
Oh, Zeke just ruining people's day again.
That is unlucky. But no, I'd be looking to move Mike Williams, again, like Mike said, for a decent high-end receiver. I think they said the top 5 wide receivers drafted, like there's somebody else on or the top 5 wide receivers on the year had somebody else on their team drafted higher than them.
If I could trade
Keenan Allen or Mike Williams rest of the
season.
season.
If I could trade, I'd probably take Keenan Allen over Mike Williams. I think that's the safer guy.
A.J. Brown or Mike Williams?
I'd take Mike Williams because of the A.J. Brown injury. If he was healthy, though, I would probably make the trade.
So if you don't need to start Mike Williams and you can trade him for A.J. Brown or these guys, I'd look to make that move. Calvin Ridley or Mike Williams.
Calvin Ridley and the Falcons, it's all a mess. Like, there's a lot of, I don't know. I'm hopeful that Calvin can salvage the season, but their offense is not looking good right now.
That's called an interception. That's too risky. Maybe. Or maybe it's not. Nick also doesn't like Cooper Kupp.
So that's a good one. If I could trade him for Cooper Kupp, I'd take Cooper Kupp right now.
Cooper Kupp is going gangbusters.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp, I can't decide if it's for real.
See, Mike, this is why I have to keep asking these questions. Because
I'd take CeeDee Lamb over Mike Williams.
And Cambo, they could not be further apart from me. I see CeeDee Lamb as a top 5 wide receiver.
Yeah.
Top 5 wide receiver in the league. I see Mike Williams as like
CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson,
wide receiver 3 with wide receiver 2 upside.
If I could trade Cooper Kupp, I'd trade him for CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson and Ridley. Again, Ridley's in that kind of like Terry McLaurin. They're both in that realm of like
I'm still.
There are some problems that may linger throughout the season with their teams.
See, Marcy, welcoming everyone. Always greeting people,
Yes,
Marcy.
very welcoming.
We appreciate having you around. Hey, Bears fan, are we friends today? Says Marcy. Your dad and Marcy duking it out in the chat.
Oh, Dad's a friendly guy. He'll talk to you for 45 minutes about just nothing.
Come here, come now.
Bears are who we thought they were.
Come here, come now. You predict Packers win and blowout. That's what not a blowout by 3 points. I saw the hello to you as well. Thank you for joining us. Come here. Drop Kamara. Don't drop Kamara.
Why would you do that? He had a good
Somebody
game.
just paid or just traded for Kamara in the Discord.
Yeah, I think they put Kamala. So
I did. I saw that.
That was an interesting.
What do you belong? Do we offload James Robinson now, or are we taking this as a good sign?
A lot of these questions, it depends on what you could get. I would take Swift for Robinson right now, but I would hold on to Robinson. And I think you're encouraged that hopefully he's going to start to be a little bit more of what he was last year. Like I said, Carlos Hyde's just not good enough and young enough to hold off him getting all the work pretty soon.
So, Woody Bulldog, here's the thing. Like, in most of our leagues, we have the same group of guys in all the leagues, and they're very informed fantasy football owners, especially as far as value.
Especially the ones that watch the show.
Up to date, right? Especially the ones that watch the show. Too risky. What's up?
Shout out.
And here's the thing. Like, they know in the league what James Robinson is. He's a wide receiver 2,
Tony
upside
Pollard
wide
with a
receiver
nice little
2.
run, picks up the first down.
If they use him, but he's really sketchy and has week-to-week downside, where people still in your league may be buying into last year's performance and think they're getting a really good deal on James Robinson. So it's hard to predict those values, but James Robinson is he up in the Swift category? JT or James Robinson. People are already
So I'm
completely out on JT.
beginning to worry about Jonathan Taylor a little bit
too.
myself.
I am too.
I'm not full panic. I'm easing off the buy though. Yeah, he's just the usage is interesting, but it was kind of like that last year, and it took a while for him to get going.
Their offense isn't really good.
It's
so
had
far.
issues with injuries. They just lost Quentin Nelson, their stud lineman again. Wentz has been banged up. Pittman got a lot of targets in that game, so nice to see that he seems to have kind of
I'd be buying Pittman
established
right now,
himself
for sure.
as a guy.
Yeah, it really depends on who you can get. James Robinson or Kareem Hunt.
Kareem
that's an
Hunt is
interesting
interesting. He finished, I believe he's the number one wide receiver or number one running back on the week right now. I think people should be buying Kareem Hunt if you can.
So Kareem Hunt so far,
he's very good. The rush he had where he got the touchdown, the Bears missed like 4 tackles that they should have had. But
15.5 points, 6 points, 24.5 points. So again, we got to remember too, this was a really bad week for fantasy football. There was not a lot of points.
I
to go around.
heard a stat.
What was that?
Oh, we had a bell go off, so we just.
I heard
a stat that over the past like multiple years, I'll say 10 or more years, that the times that a running back finished as the number one running back on the week without having 25 fantasy points, it only happened once or twice. And this year, it's already happened 2 times, and it kind of speaks to how the running back landscape has changed, and there's a lot more backfields using multiple running backs, so it's bringing down the
tonight's
total.
a good example. We've already seen a drive with Zeke, or actually 2 drives with Zeke, and now we see a drive with Pollard.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are splitting it up now. A lot of people are spreading it out, and I don't think you're going to have. Again, that's why guys like Derrick Henry,
Christian,
Aaron
when he's healthy.
Jones,
Get healthy.
Christian,
Get healthy, Christian.
even Saquon Barkley. Like these guys are still so valuable because
Najee right now.
Kamara and Najee, they get all the work, absolutely all the work, and those guys are just on opportunity. Mixing on opportunity alone are going to be in the top 10. The nostalgic with the sub. Thank you
happy to have
so
you.
much. Congrats on the marriage, and good luck.
Good luck.
to you.
They're super great. So
Cooper Kupp, my guy in every league, says pocket. That's a pretty good.
If you bought Cooper everywhere, you're feeling good about it now. There is some data to show that these guys, these wide receivers that have these super hot starts. A great example this year is Tyler Lockett. Had a really hot start. Now he's got a little bit of an MCL sprain. Went down in that game. Whole team was on the field like he had died, but it sounds like it's not that big a deal. They were. Yeah, it was interesting to see the Seahawks just full blown mourning.
Right.
But it sounds like he's going to be all right. But they're running into a tough spot of their schedule right now, and I think that Tyler Lockett, you might have missed the window. You might still be able to move him for high, but stuff happens to these guys. And Cooper Kupp has been awesome. I just don't know that I would trust it to continue as it has been. But him and Stafford have a good connection. Mike Williams is another good example, kind of that same tier of guy. Those guys that you got a little bit later in the draft that you weren't expecting to be elite, they come out and blow up at the beginning. History has shown that usually that doesn't carry over through the entirety of a year.
All right, so far tonight, Dak 5 for 6 for 75 yards.
All right, we got a little
lamb
end
on
around, reverse.
That's a new noise. Nostalgic gifting a sub to Cambo Rambo.
All right.
Thank you for that
He
gift.
drew first blood.
I like the GIF or the emote. I like it. And now you have access to our emote, so enjoy that. Gifted another one. Getting after it to come here, come now. Man, nostalgic going crazy. He's in that honeymoon period, Just he's a
There
giver.
you go. Just
Matty Stafford with the Mannings.
is it your boy?
That's Zeke with another one.
The receiving
That's
touchdown.
Zeke. Who needed 2+ touchdowns for Zeke?
Points for Dak.
I think that was
Points
risky.
for
Was
Zeke.
betting that.
All right. There are still a lot of people that do believe in Zeke. So
This guy.
hasn't had giant impressive plays, but he's had
That may be
just
short.
getting the goal line work.
Yeah, that looks short, but it'll be close.
Let's see.
It'll be close. Give it to him.
Peyton wants him to give it to him. Man, Peyton, every time somebody's close, they're like, just give him the touchdown. Just give him the touchdown for you.
Short. You're a bunch of liars.
Little short.
You're a bunch of liars.
Pollard time? Is that what we're looking at?
No, you got to give him the rock again.
Got a little bit winded trying to catch that ball.
You got to give him the
Tony's
rock. Well,
touchdown.
he's been grinding away. He's got 6 carries already.
Are we going with touchdown Tony? Is that going to be the new moniker?
No.
Let's see.
All righty. Cambo, Robert Woods trade for a pack of Skittles, and Najee Harris, 19 targets last night. Crazy. That's a lot of targets.
It was interesting. That game was all messed up with the Steelers losing wide receivers left and right.
Yep.
Juju apparently has bruised ribs. He's day-to-day was what I saw. I haven't seen a lot on Deontay. I think he's possible to return next week.
Still, I think the news from what we had on Deontay is still better than what we thought.
Yeah.
Because it was like being reported as it was a bad injury.
Oh, it's interesting, the fantasy world, how they react to injuries. It's
For sure. It's full panic right away.
Yeah. The people that know about injuries tend to be like, all right, it looks like this. But then there are other people that anytime a guy
he's dead,
twists it all the wrong way, they're like, my God, his legs are gone.
And Robert Woods, I'm worried.
Yeah, Robert Woods, I think you can start to,
I'm
on
not
a scale of 1 to 10, you're probably at least a 5 for the panic scale. He's gotten some points in every game, but
yeah, pretty heavy on the panic. All
not
right,
what you wanted.
Got
looks like stood up at the line.
Dak with the touchdown now.
Well, let's see if I didn't hear the whistle, so it looked like Dak dropped the ball thinking he'd been in.
Chase, top 5. Chase is definitely top 12 for me, I think, right now. Jamar Chase. It's hard to argue. 4 touchdowns already.
T. Higgins being gone appeared to help him out getting involved, and he had a great game. He's a talented wide receiver. He was drafted to be a featured piece in that offense. He's got chemistry with Joe Burrow. So, yeah, I think that Cincinnati, they're a team that seems to want to throw the ball, and Burrow's looking healthy. So
I saw tigers.
the Tiger King airing it out to Chase. I like it. I got him on one team, and I'm feeling pretty good about him.
Come on, I need good games from Lamb and Goddard. Lamb got stuck on that end around, and Dak rushing it in himself isn't gonna help anybody. I don't think in here. It helps me with my over on Jalen Hurts. So Jalen Hurts can keep screwing up. That'd be better.
Dak gets stacked up. Like I said, I didn't hear the whistle before the ball popped out.
Yeah. Does Mike think where he drafted Jefferson, where he could have drafted Thielen, it was lost value, says Pocket?
No, I'm still happy with Jefferson. I want to have Jefferson on teams. He'd be a guy I'd be trading for. I think that there's going to be some big bomb plays going for him. He's been decent. What's Jefferson's line? I got to double check it even.
He had 118 yards, I think, on 6 or 7 catches and a touchdown.
He's been solid. Cousins has been decent, so
he's kind of had a similar start to actually Diggs because they've both been still involved and getting enough to where you're not worried about them fully, but you start thinking it's I really drafted this person higher than the performance I'm getting.
Than what you've gotten so far. But it's a long season, and that's kind of we talked about. We posted a little clip to the Facebook page about the process, and it's these guys that you drafted highly, you drafted
Marcy
them.
posted, but yes.
Or Marcy, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That you drafted to be great. Sometimes it falls the wrong way, and DK Metcalf, he just had a good game, but the first couple were locky games. Woods, I think, he's not as good as DK, but he's in that same realm of it wouldn't be hard because he has the talent. If just one game he gets a good matchup and Stafford starts targeting him and they'll get into a rhythm for him to all of a sudden come away with a Cooper Kupp type game
blows
and
a
Cooper
knee
Kupp
out.
to be the Woods in that game.
Not wishing that. I'm just saying Cooper Kupp
has
a
some
tendency
injury
to get
history.
some injuries,
He's older than his face looks. But.
Yep, for sure. So, yeah, we do have to worry about that. Thank you for those gifted subs while in nostalgia like that. We are up to tied for our highest amount of subscribers ever, I think, with 25 of them.
It's so good.
It was nice.
Right,
it was nice. Go Bears. We had an argument in the offseason. Would you rather have your team good and boring to watch or not very good but very enjoyable to watch? Because
so we're getting bad and bad to watch.
They're neither right now.
We're in a bad spot.
It's not good.
Oh, well, if maybe they pull a Packers, they have the get right game against the Lions and they get some things figured out. But Yeah, it was bad, and nobody in Chicago psyched about anything that came out of that performance.
Another gifted sub to Tater Boy.
Oh, so Tater Boy. Don't know Tater as much.
I wasn't trying to get you to do that, but
They call
thank
me
you very much.
Tater Salad. But now we have broken the
the sub record now. I was just happy to be there, but thank you very much.
Just happy to be part of the team.
I'm just happy to be here and hanging out with everybody on the Monday.
Great success.
Call stands. Cambo's up for it.
All
Marcy
right.
Hart in it. All right, I got to see how close my matchup is now. I got to see. First down.
So was it a fumble? Is that or was it just the turnover on downs?
It's not going to stand. Oh, call stands is not a touchdown? I thought they called it a touchdown before.
No.
Oh, man. Hey, it's don't fudge with me. With the follow.
I made a mistake.
Thank you for the follow.
All right.
It's a great name.
We'll not fudge with that person.
Imagine not gifting me a sub after losing this Zeke TD. Wow. Not great. Not great. It's just the double whammy, right?
This is my nightmare.
To be fair, these fine people have been watching us a little bit longer than you have, I believe. Maybe not come here, come now, but the other ones for sure. All right, so that was 4th down too. So back to the Eagles. Let's see if it almost returned right back.
Was it through the hands of Goddard?
Almost returned right back. All right, we haven't even gotten into waivers yet. Josh Gordon, spend all your fab on Josh Gordon. Blow your number one waiver priority on
Josh is a mirage.
Gordon. No, but if waivers run and Gordon's still there, pick him up just for fun. Who's taking in yesterday's loss worse, Bears fans or Lions fans? Bears fans for sure.
Lions fans expected to lose.
They're pumped
badly.
because they were competitive and they're still on their way to get the number one pick.
And part of history with the longest field goal in NFL history from Tucker booting the 66er. The Bears fans still have the negative connotation of the doink, but finally a positive doink in the NFL. Just doinks right on through.
Yep, right on through the uprights, that's for sure.
So I always love to see a divisional opponent lose.
All right, so we got an interesting situation here with Chuba Hubbard.
All right,
what
Chuba,
are you spending for basically a 2-week rental?
Well, I spent all my fab on Elijah Mitchell, so I don't have much to do. But Chuba Hubbard is a guy that I'd be picking up. Again, you might only get a 2-week start, but Chuba, again, the hands, they're a bit of a concern. That offense likes to do a lot of little short passes, as they did with Christian, who's very good at it. And you saw Chuba have a little bit of a struggle with some of those in the last, when he came in relief after Christian left. But I still think he's a talented running back who's going to get the majority of the work on that team. I like picking up Chuba.
Well, we expect CMC to be back, right? So
I think if you're the Christian owner, you should spend more than what people are recommending for just the general person to.
I agree.
To
I think in most leagues, if you're wanting them and you're based on fab, you're not going to be spending enough on them based on where the Christian McCaffrey owner is going to be.
The Christian owner, I could see spending 50% because the thing about it is if Christian then comes back and re-aggravates, then you got your backup guy still.
What if you're 0-3 right now and you have no running back?
If no running back, go ahead and spend 75% of your fab. If you need a running back, he's a guy who a guy that has a chance. So if Alexander Madison's out there, he'd be the top pickup. But Cook could easily be back next week, and all of a sudden Alexander Madison is relegated to obscurity again. Chuba,
I'm just thinking if you're like a Mostert owner and you're still playing that 49ers roulette and, you're Josh Jacobs owner and he's still out. I mean, you could be 0-3 and really needing a good running back performance. So if that case, I'm okay with spending a little bit more on Chuba.
Some people cashed in on Cordero, who had a nice game. So if you picked him up last week, I doubt he's still out there. If he is, though, I think
really, based on how he's been playing them, I think you can start him.
Yeah, if he's on the waivers, 2 games in a row is enough to believe in it. So.
Yeah, 3 now.
3 good ones?
Yeah, he was pretty solid week 1 too.
It was week 1, but
I don't. Here, let me
stealing Davis's touches. So that's the other side of the Cordero Patterson emergence is that if you have Mike Davis, you probably spent a decent, maybe a 6th-round pick on him. So the Davis owner is not excited about Cordero coming through.
Cordero week 1, 7 rushing attempts for 54 yards and 2 catches for 13 yards. So in half point, he had 9 points.
Yeah, that's what I was counting that as meh.
Yeah, still okay though. I'm okay with that from my running back position on a bad week.
Yeah.
Hines or Hunt this week? I'm still going Hunt.
Hunt. You ride the Hunt train until. He's always got that chance that, he's not, doesn't get the touchdown.
They've been cautious with the Chubb usage, and they're not giving him much in the passing work. So I think you have to start Hunt every week now. I think he's definitely in that flex category.
Banjo makes a good point. He said, I thought Gallman would have joined the committee by now. I actually, for a hot second, did roster Wayne Gallman. He is a running back for the Atlanta Falcons. I grabbed him in Dynasty for a hot second, thinking the same thing. Maybe he kind of emerges. But I think that with Cordero, what you're seeing, I think that Gallman is third on a team where you don't necessarily even want the first running back.
We got to be grateful that they're not bringing up Gallman, because Gallman's not very good. But again, if he steals 3 touches from each of them, now everybody's useless. So that's not very fun to think about either. Minnesota, good matchup for Cleveland, yes. For the Cleveland defense,
I don't know. We just saw Cleveland's defense look pretty solid for a game, so I don't think I want to start anybody against Cleveland real bad.
Mr. Pig, welcome in. My fantasy game is CeeDee Lamb versus Amari Cooper. He's up by 2. Who's winning? I like the CeeDee Lamb side still.
Oh, yeah. Cooper
even with a 2-point head start for your opponent.
Had a rib injury throughout the week, so I think he's dealing with some banged up ribs, so that might slow him down a little bit. CD's already had some nice usage.
Bearfin Paul, 5 guys on my Dynasty bench came through. Connor Gesicki, Beasley, Jacoby Myers, and the great Emmanuel Sanders. Plus, I started Bridgewater over Heineke. I should have dominated.
So that was the bench showing up. Emmanuel Sanders is a guy that just got floated out as somebody trying to trade in our Dynasty League because he is 34, and if you could trade him to a competing
34,
team.
That's 4 years older than Josh Gordon.
Josh Gordon. Yeah, but Josh Gordon has lived the life of a 39-year-old.
Oh, he's got fresh legs.
The miles on the inside.
Fresh body.
Oh, so many miles on Josh Gordon. But I digress. Emmanuel Sanders, if you could trade him, the guy that you got to trade him to is the person who is competing, who's like one good wide receiver away, whose depth is just not there. Sell him, hey, Emmanuel Sanders, he's having a great game. He's the guy that they want to throw the long ball to on a team that likes to throw the ball. And can you give me a third? Take a third for Emmanuel Sanders in Dynasty right now?
Pass.
You could get a second, but I don't think anybody's going to give you a second for Emmanuel Sanders.
No, I'm not interested.
You'd like to sell him if you had him.
No, I would love to sell him for anything.
Nick loves to hold on to old wide receivers, too. He's got H.A. Green, Julio Jones, Odell Beckham Jr. on his Dynasty team.
How dare you?
Just decrepit it is.
They're great. Coming out with the Cleveland running backs. Yeah, they should be okay against Minnesota. Minnesota's not too scary. Honestly, Minnesota's a good matchup for fantasy football because they like to throw the ball. They like to score points.
They've been getting in shootouts.
The defense isn't great, and Kirk Cousins has looked pretty legit.
Yeah, he's actually been decent.
Yeah. Tony Pollard's season. Get out of here, Cambo. Cambo full troll mode now.
Oh, there's a lot of people saying it. People are saying.
No.
I've been hearing a lot of people talking about Tony Pollard.
No. Carter, welcome in. How are you? High flying Miles. Miles, who?
The gas man?
No, not the gas man. No. Miles Sanders? He ain't even run yet. Do you think Najee is going to repeat what he did last week, says Mr. Pig?
Oh, what's the matchup? Do we know who? Let's see. I'd have to check who he's playing next week.
Everybody see the video of...
I'll say no. I say he doesn't get that many targets. I think Juju and Deontay both play next week. That's my early prediction.
Yep.
But he should still be useful.
They're going against the Packers.
100% of the work.
Yeah, against the Packers. Packers aren't too scary.
Yeah, they just beat the 49ers, so... I mean, 49ers are a decent team.
The 49ers, I think, are not very good on offense, and they still managed to score, 28 points?
While we're talking about the 49ers, guess who's out of the doghouse? Brandon Ayuk, I think, had 1 touchdown. Is that right? And he had 2 targets that were close to being touchdowns.
He had 10 targets. He made some bonehead plays.
2 end zone targets. So, again, I could see why the coaches are maybe frustrated with him because, like you said, there were some... They were tough catches, but he could have had them that were drops.
Hey, Marcy, how do you feel about the 49ers? I think we have similar feelings.
49ers.
What do you think about the 49ers right
There's
now?
value. There's gold in them there.
Pog, you guys think Sterling Shepard will be out a few weeks? Picked him up this week, and, of course, he blows out his hammy.
I think he's going to be out for a couple of weeks. Best case scenario, we'll go 3 weeks. Sterling Shepard, this is kind of what Sterling Shepard does. He's talented when he plays, and then he gets hurt. Hate to see it. I've got Sterling as well, but... It be like that sometimes. Were you impressed with Sermon? I thought, again, I started Sermon over Clyde Edwards-Helaire, so I made a mistake there.
That's a touchdown. Dalton Schultz. Wide open.
I took my Dalton Schultz drop off the board because I didn't think he'd be a thing this year.
He's so good, you don't even need it.
But yeah, so starting Clyde Edwards-Helaire over Sermon.
Oh, I made a mistake.
But
you almost had it, Marcy. No Niners. That is definitely the rule.
Sermon did get in for the touchdown. Honestly, right now, seeing how Sermon played, he wasn't that impressive. He was a little more of the battering ram.
If you take the touchdown away, he had 4.4 points.
So that's not great.
That's not good.
But I think he's a guy who is kind of that punch it in goal line type guy. So he might have some touchdowns. But he lost touches to Kyle Juszczyk. That
he only
was
played
weird.
59% of snaps. So again, we've seen the 49ers. The reason why starting 49ers running backs is so nice is because they give all the work to one guy until that guy gets hurt. You know, they grind it, and now they're splitting carries between Trey Sermon and Juszczyk. That's not good news for Trey Sermon owners.
If anything, I think maybe Elijah Mitchell is a sneaky again. Maybe I'm just hopeful because I got a lot of shares.
Of course you are.
But I think that if Elijah Mitchell is back and healthy, I think he's the guy that has the best chance to be the guy they go to.
I agree. If you can buy Elijah Mitchell for really, really cheap, I'd buy Elijah Mitchell.
If you could trade Sermon for Mitchell right now, would you make that move? Because I think I would.
I probably would after this performance.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in Dynasty, I think you can buy Mitchell cheaper than Sermon still because of the people that have Sermon are ones that probably took him fairly high in their Dynasty rookie drafts. Maybe make a move to try and get Mitchell.
Mr. Big, DJ Moore is so underrated. DJ Moore has been looking really good with
DJ Moore had a very good game, but we've had a lot of DJ Moore being a good, not great wide receiver. So
I mean, he's kind of been like
touchdowns haven't generally been there.
He's kind of been like Terry McLaurin. I mean, it can really kind of cut from the same cloth.
Last year, Robbie was getting a lot more work, so that was taken away from him. But this year, they seem to have gone away from Robbie, and that's the new quarterback, so it makes sense that he's going to favor guys a little bit differently.
So DJ Moore's stat line the last couple of weeks: 8 targets, 11 targets, 12 targets, 6 catches, 8 catches, 8 catches, 12 points, 18 points, 17.5 points. So only one touchdown.
They got Dallas next week, so that could be a good matchup for him.
And I think with Christian McCaffrey out, I mean, it definitely opens it up a little bit more for him. And actually, the next stretch here, Dallas, Philly, Minnesota, New York Giants, and then Atlanta the next
pretty nice
4 or 5 weeks.
So yeah, DJ Moore's a guy you might want to go out there. If I could trade Allen Robinson for DJ Moore right now, which you won't be able to do, but I'd be very happy about that.
100%.
Mike Gesicki finally showing up. Worth noting that with the new quarterback, so Jacoby Brissett comes in, and all of a sudden Gesicki's a thing again. So I don't know if you can trust this. I don't know if I'd be running out to try and add Gesicki.
12 targets, 10 receptions for 86 yards.
Hard to argue with 12 targets.
Snap share to 39%, 64-66. So again,
out there,
they were down pretty much. When we finished yesterday, you were flaming Derek Carr right out of the gate, and Miami was up 14-0, and then the whole game flipped, and they were behind the rest of the game. So weird game script for sure. But again, Jacoby Brissett's not going to be the quarterback forever, and we've seen enough out of Tua that I think he's not going to use Gesicki that much. So as long as Brissett gets in there, I think you're okay starting him over back end tight end guys.
He's in that nebulous kind of just ball of tight ends where you could start anybody.
Dawson Knox for Gesicki.
Knox has actually been all right. He's shown up a little bit.
Back-to-back weeks with a touchdown.
I'll go Gesicki next week if he's got Brissett.
Okay.
Like Evan Ingram is a guy that just came back. People are starting him in some spots. Would you start Ingram or Gesicki? And note for Evan Ingram is that he wasn't great in this game, but now Sterling Shepard just went out. So
it was either in the Discord or somewhere else. It's like Evan Ingram ruins another Giants drive. Probably Gesicki. Yeah, I'm with Marcy here.
Well, my worry with Ingram this year, because he was one of the most targeted tight ends last year. He was like the top 4 targeted tight ends. He might have been up at 3, but now I was worried about him this year because all right, they got Kadarius Toney. Surely they wouldn't pick a guy with the 20th pick in the NFL draft not to throw it to him. And all right, Sterling Shepard's healthy. They want to throw it to him.
Right.
And now Sterling's gone, and Kadarius is nowhere. And all of a sudden, maybe Ingram does get all those targets
Saquon
again.
Barkley.
And follow the targets a lot of time is a good strategy.
Carter says, I need all Dak's touchdowns to go to Lamb. Well, not great so far, but maybe the rest of the game. Maybe there's 6 more touchdowns to come.
I could use some Lamb.
We're on to Cincinnati.
Whoops.
Where's the lamb?
Somebody's on to Cincinnati.
Double clutch, yep.
Pocket, you guys gave some move? Oh, Gav so smooth. There we go.
Gav
we
so
got
smooth.
there. Thank you for the follow.
Nick, not so much, but yeah,
not great.
So smooth.
Not great, Bob. Pocket, you guys think the tight end position
Like a
is
Kenny Galladay route.
disposable defense or disposable this year? Like defense, aside from Kelsey, it is a mess. Well, Waller as well.
No, I like having a tight end.
Waller
in
wasn't
there.
great week 2, but again, I still think it's Kelsey, Kittle, Waller. I really wanted to put Hawk up there, but Hawk had 2 for 10 this week, so
Maybe a slight
do it
pump
yet.
the brake on Hawk. I think he's going to be fine for the rest of the year. But
I think he's still your tight end 4. I mean,
The
they're-
Lions-
it's really rough out there because look at what Pitts did this week. And
Yeah.
Mark Andrews had a good week. So I don't know. I'd say it's Hawk, Andrews, and Pitts in that next.
might be a good buy
next category,
Hawkinson time if you can get somebody who's panicking. Try and sell
Sure.
him that the Lions are never going to have anybody that's has any relevance. But
I agree.
Bad teams produce fantasy points. Like
How does Dynasty work, says my pig? You basically just hold players for lifetime. So the only way they come off your roster is if you drop them or trade them away. Otherwise, year after year, you have the same roster and develop the same talent. So every year you do a rookie draft to kind of bring in that new talent into the league. And other than that, you just hold.
it's the best thing in the world.
It really is a lot of fun.
And here's the other thing about Dynasty. If you're not in a Dynasty league, it's a commitment. So you don't want to just join one and then kind of get sick of it and drop right away. You want to at least like a 10-year commit. It's a long, but playing Dynasty has made me, I feel, a much better redraft player. Maybe a little bit I favor the rookies too much, so that's a drawback. But
if anything, I think it's made me a worse redraft player.
Really? That's because
Yes.
I know who all these guys are. I'm ready. When I see a little bit of a breakout from like a Rondale Moore, everybody's looking like, who's Rondale Moore? I've already added him because I saw that he got like 6 targets the first week. It just makes you so much more aware of the rookies, what their capability is, what their
my issue
ceiling is.
is it messes up the values in my head, especially for redraft. When I'm trying to make a trade for somebody, it's hard for me to disassociate the dynasty value from the redraft value. You know, like guys like Adam Thielen. You know, it's like I don't want Adam Thielen. I would rather have any of these. I'd rather have Jamar Chase over Adam Thielen, which works out. But I'd also rather have Robert Woods over Adam Thielen. And it's like
it makes you
it's
an
not
ageist.
the same thing.
You're like,
Exactly. I'm becoming an ageist.
This
with
guy's
time.
over 30. No, thank you.
Hard pass.
But so we have a comment. It hurts painful today. So you could say that it hurts to play.
Yes, exactly.
Boom.
But yeah, Dynasty is a lot of fun. It takes some practice, and the biggest note I can give you is year 1 and year 2, don't trade away all your draft picks because
draft picks are important, especially
the first year. Everybody always fades draft picks, and they're very good. And also, when you're drafting, you got to have a strategy. Don't treat it like a redraft draft where you want a good team for right then. Draft younger guys or older guys. I would try and decide if you want to be a competitive from the start or if you want to suck at the beginning and draft some younger guys and then get some good draft.
When we did our Dynasty startup draft, I don't believe that anybody that did it had done a Dynasty draft before.
Correct.
And we very much undervalued the incoming rookies that we all didn't really know about that were hadn't done anything
Absolutely.
yet. Those guys, I got Calvin Ridley late in that draft. I got Cortland Sutton late in that draft. I got outbid by $1. I bid $1, got outbid for the $2. Didn't have enough money to get Lamar Jackson. So guys like that, if you're playing with people that are new to it, learn all those incoming rookies that year and just buy them all up at the end of your draft.
Makes a big difference. Come now. Keenan has been very good. I've liked the usage for Keenan Allen. And again, I knew the touchdowns were coming. I think he had one in this game, but the usage is getting better. Yeah. The offense clicked a little bit better this week. This is the first week Herbert had more than 1 touchdown pass, so that also helps.
Let me gush about Dynasty some more. It has made watching the NFL draft so much more fun. It has made the entire offseason and free agency a lot more fun. Like, Dynasty has made everything, if you feel like you're addicted to fantasy football and you only play redraft, get in a Dynasty league because it is the most fun thing in the world.
And again, we do it all year. We had 100 trades between January 1st
and not an exaggeration.
No, and our rookie draft in August. So in that 6-month time frame or 7-month time frame, we had over 100 trades. I mean, it's been crazy. Sup guys, in the house or in the house?
This is fun.
Welcome in.
That makes sense. Like the name.
Yes.
Gave it away. True to form.
Would you start the Bears defense versus the Lions week 4 or the Lions defense versus the Bears?
The Bears defense was actually pretty decent. They kept that awful Bears offense in that game a lot longer than you realize if you just look at the final score line. And then finally they just got sick of you could tell that they got a little deflated by how pitiful the offense was.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I actually trust. I think that we're going to lose to the Lions.
Nah. They'll beat the Lions, don't you think?
The Lions are better than I thought. The
Lions have been fighting, so.
They kept it close with the Packers. They kept it close this week.
Maybe. If they lose the Lions, Nagy is just. Everybody who wants him out, I think that's the moment.
That'd be
like,
the
all right,
straw that broke
you
the
can't
camel's
lose
back.
to the Lions.
Yeah, no, I would agree. Poor Isaac in our Discord. But yeah, no, I don't think I'd start the Bears.
Oh, I got to do a
against the
shout out. I don't
Lions.
think he watches the show, but
Uh-oh.
Shaquille Oatmeal, a guy that I've been working with to try, new to fantasy this year again. Seems like a younger guy. I've been trying to mentor him and get him. Got his first win this week.
Nice.
I was more excited about that win than any of my teams. So Shaquille Oatmeal, get it done.
Oh man,
Trust in the process.
Marcy,
Happy
can
for
you
him.
hit us with that Discord link? So
And that is with losing Cook and Devontae.
Really?
Yeah. So, or not Devontae, Deontay Johnson.
right. Yeah, no, we've been that Discord has grown from 20-some people to 160 people in a month because of Marcy's efforts, mostly. And really, it's brought a lot
Always
of people in
bumping.
asking questions. And how many direct messages do you get from people in there? I probably get 1 or 2 a week now.
Yeah. I don't get a ton of direct messages, but we try and be active in there and get in there, every day and respond to as many comments as we can. Sometimes if I saw that Nick got to them, maybe I'll pass on those.
Yeah.
And wait, but.
Or if you want to disagree with my take, which is
Almost
usually pretty much
always.
every one of them.
It's a little bit shocking how often we disagree.
We
but
do.
We both like CeeDee Lamb.
And somehow we're always both wrong. No.
I disagree. I was right. I won this week, and there'll definitely be another week where Nick wins. But this was my week for advice being correct.
The Fantasy Addicts are right 100%
My
of
Antonio
the time.
Gibson start was correct. The Alexander Madison was on.
Trippy season with the
And
follow.
I don't know if you
much.
saw, because
Thank
I
you.
even had to highlight it again and commented on it myself. But I said I would play Godwin over A.J. Brown this week, and that one was prophetic. So
That was a good one. That was a good one with,
Thank you.
with A.J.
Thank
Brown
you.
going down.
just want a little bit of
You
credit.
couldn't have known.
I felt it in my bones, in my plums.
How's our starting Bears D? I got to check my trusty list. I don't do anything without my trusty defense and kicker list.
Yep. Check out the links to the social medias, the Discord. None of those are viruses or anything like that. They're all safe.
That you know of.
Unless Marcy's just slowly just siphoning.
Yeah. It's really the link to our OnlyFans page.
We're
Check
not
it out.
handsome enough.
I don't think you need to be. Keenan seems angry about something.
Your wife did ask if I
banjo.
wanted a bratwurst. I said, I can't just eat a bratwurst live on air. It's not that kind of podcast.
I mean, if you'd be interested in seeing Mike eat a bratwurst live on air,
yeah. It's not pretty.
let us know. Let us know in the chat. Spam the emotes in the chat. Any inside info on T. Higgins? Having him, Josh Jacobs, and Judy out is scary. I
have not
hope
seen
Josh
a
Jacobs
lot.
is
Let's
back
see.
this week. If he needs to get healthy, I guess he can be out one more week. But that's it. No more Josh Jacobs. T. Higgins, I think it was hamstring, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can.
Again, those hamstring injuries, they linger. The good guys usually play through it. Guys like Hopkins, even though he's a dud this week, which we'll talk about Hopkins a little bit too. I'm not too worried about T. Higgins. Definitely want to get him in there though. Shoulder, you thought? We're looking it up. I do not know any inside information on Higgins. Oh, a lot of emotes, Mike. You might have to go get a bratwurst. You might have to go get a bratwurst.
No, not like this.
I don't like how much work Pollard is getting right now.
I've been trying to tell you. The people know. They've
It's
been trying to tell you.
It's more than I wanted. I told our gambling friend to take Pollard under 2.5 receptions, which he couldn't get the bet in, but Pollard has no receptions so far. So far, I'm correct on that point. But Pollard tonight, 7 carries for 47 yards.
But Zeke with 2 touchdowns. So
Zeke 1 touchdown.
Oh,
They took
because
the other one
you're right.
away.
He was short on the receiving one. So here's
Yep.
the thing. People that have been – so I'm with you. I like Pollard. I've been out on Zeke. But here's the thing. The people that are trying to play Pollard right now, trying to like trade, big pieces for Pollard and act like he's a starting running back, he's not because of Zeke. Zeke limits Pollard because Zeke gets those touchdowns. Zeke still gets work, and it's gonna really lower the ceiling for Pollard. Maybe he busts a play, but his
So you put
carries are
Pollard in
still-
like the Naeem Hines category.
Yeah, like it's a different situation. So if Jonathan Taylor went down, I don't feel like it helps Hines that much. If Zeke went down, I feel like it greatly elevates Tony Pollard. because Pollard is a similar type of running back. He can do the same kind of things as Zeke can do, but they still want to give Zeke the goal line work. And Zeke so far this year has been, been okay with it. So
Yeah, I think as long as Zeke keeps putting up decent fantasy
and
performances.
Zeke hasn't looked
we're
like
not
just a
panicking.
shell of himself. He hasn't been just a decrepit old man limping around out there. He's been okay.
Again, the problem that Pollard has, which is the problem that Rojo has right now, which Rojo is full-blown panic mode for Rojo.
Yeah, no, you can drop Rojo in a lot of places. He's a guy that I keep dropping and like picking up when I move a guy to the IR. I just keep throwing him on in case Leonard Fournette goes, or if he has a monster game and maybe they trust him again.
Yeah. The problem is they keep making like big bonehead mistakes and then they end up getting benched or, not in good graces. So Pollard has managed to not make any of those boneheaded plays yet, but once he does again, I don't, man, look at that cut by Zeke. That was nice. He only got a yard.
So spry.
He only got a yard, but no, I was hanging out on the Cowboys Discord or the Cowboys Reddit page, and they're not huge fans of Pollard. There's a couple Pollard truthers, but most of them are pretty lackluster. Like, he's good for fantasy, but not good for real football, and they think he'll lose touches. So again, I'm not full blown. Zeke's got to be the guy. He's got to get 90% of the touches, but I'm still weary, and I don't know where are you starting Pollard?
No, I'm not starting Pollard.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm trying to roster him right now.
I think that's fair.
And I think also,
I like it.
So let's say you waited on Cook and Cook wasn't available in the late game. I think Pollard's a guy that was a nice little pivot if you waited. So he's a guy that you can plug in if something went wrong and you need a start.
All right, Gav, so smooth. Bratwurst with mustard or sauerkraut?
It's not a Chicago take, but I put ketchup on them.
I do as well. I do as well.
Slice of cheese just in the bun and then some ketchup.
Yeah.
So it's not a Chicago thing. They disown us. We're not in the city limits.
It's true. Najee Harris with
I'm not a
double-digit
mustard
catches this
guy.
weekend was a monster. 14 catches is crazy. We thought the Waller 20-plus targets was crazy. The Najee Harris 19-plus targets is
you can't
more
trust
wild.
Mustard because it runs out there, goes for 2 plays, and then goes down for the season.
Mustard breaks its knees.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm ketchup with a little mustard and maybe a little onion on top. Mike's pure no vegetables, so
I'll throw an onion on. An onion's not even like a real vegetable.
I don't believe it. Mayfield or Darnold for a permanent backup spot for me. I have Josh Allen.
I think Darnold has the higher upside just because the Browns, they want to run the ball. Baker, even though he has played well NFL-wise and quarterback-wise, he just hasn't had monster days. He had that one touchdown that he rushed in, not this week, but the last week. So,
as long as it's not crustard. I don't even know what crustard is.
Doesn't sound good.
No. I think Darnold's definitely the guy. Baker Mayfield has never finished a season inside the top 12 quarterbacks. I think he'll have good games, but there's games where it's just going to be Hunt and Chubb just making all the moves
I think
for him.
that the way their offense is set up isn't geared to make him a superstar fantasy quarterback.
No, but OBJ, nice week this
And
week.
their defense is
7 or
good
8
enough.
catches for like 80 yards. I'm pretty excited about. Look at Zeke go.
He's moving.
Look at Zeke
That was
go.
a good run by Zeke.
Now they're going to put Pollard in to vulture this touchdown.
I don't think so. I think that's the problem with Pollard is
Should I
you're gonna stick with Zeke.
Should I ship Baker then? If you can trade Baker to somebody, absolutely.
The
For
other-
whatever you can get.
The other note about Zeke is like they paid him $1 million. So you follow the money. They
So-
want him to be the guy.
Zeke and Cook both have outs after next season.
Okay.
So there's really only a guarantee for this year and next year, and then
Which is a
there's
long
outs
time.
on their contract. I mean, for running backs, not really. Oh, that's it. That is another Zeke touchdown.
There you go.
Elliott needs to stop. Not that it matters, says ENR. ENR is going to be I think that's my only win this week, is beating ENR in the listener league.
There you go.
And you know what? I couldn't be any happier. I couldn't be happier than to take you down, Ian. I'm sorry I had to do it.
Oh, Ian, you almost blanked him.
You blew it!
Sorry. But I feel good about it. After Marcy is, smoking me basically all week. I don't know how. I have like 5 players on IR in our
Marcy
best ball league.
murdered me because I got Hurts and Devontae, the only ones left, and I'm losing 80 to 149. So we're just going to call that one. Good job, Marcy.
And the extra point is wide, trying to keep that under in play.
My best ball league trying to show some signs of life, but I lose by 10 to Peter with my just broken, awful best ball team.
Zeke is good, though.
Yeah, best ball is not going to be where it's at for me this year. And so far, so good with the Dynasty League. So it looks like I'm going to get the win over B-Jam.
One of my, the gentleman that just gifted all of our subscriptions lately. I'm not sure if this is the greatest channel redemption to have with our channel, because I think I have a in real life voice ban for 10,000 channel points.
Gotcha.
Which means you can mute one of us
if
for
Dak gets if Dak gets one or two more points, I'm gonna lose the other league.
So I could have really used these Zach. I can't even say his name.
Zach Dak in the back.
The
of the
Zach Dak touchdowns.
Don't look back.
It is close out here. I'm losing by 3 points. And I need Dak to outscore Hurts by 3 points.
The family league where I am the back-to-back champion, I am going to start 0-3. It's the only league I haven't pulled off a win in yet.
Unlikely.
And
unlikely.
It's Christian went down. That's what killed me this week.
Ian R says, I'll get you next time, Nick.
Tyson.
I won't.
But maybe.
Amari Cooper needs to not touch the ball for me to win. So far, so good. I think he had one rush on that, one catch for like 8 yards, and that was it.
His ribs hurt. So.
I'm going to be the last remaining undefeated team in the listener league once Mike loses. Proud of you, Marcy.
I'm trying. That's all right. You just haven't run into a juggernaut like Marcy in there yet, right?
I know. Marcy, but guess what? Marcy only listens to us. She only gets her information from us, and that's why she's doing so well.
She's listening to Dan Harris and just cheating with those guys. What? So maybe Dan gave her some insights.
How dare you? How dare you? Started Josh Allen. That's a good person to start this week. Come here, come now.
Yeah.
I think he had, 5 all-purpose touchdowns?
Congratulations for
Schnikes.
Keeping the faith, sticking with him.
Marcy says, I totally don't pay for fantasy pros.
All right.
Okay. Fair.
He's not a mod for them.
He's going to be under 4 points for me to win. I don't know if you're going to keep Cooper under 4, but so far.
So I did get my first win in the work league that I joined this year. So hopefully that's the start of many. And sometimes you just start off slow, and you gotta figure things out. You gotta make some moves, and we'll get right. It's a long season, so.
Karna Flame and Marcy, winning must be beginner's luck. And then Fancy Pros pays me, says Karna. Man, that is, get us hooked up with that, Karna.
Yeah, we'd be happy to do some work for them.
Who pays for Fantasy Pros? Says in the Hauser. Nobody in here pays for Fantasy Pros.
That's
especially not Marcy. All right, so the Cowboys are kicking back off to the Eagles. I think I just saw Jalen Hurts in this game has 0.03 points with the interception. So pretty much nothing from the Eagles in a quarter and a half. They're pretty much on the Chicago Bears offensive game plan.
So there's a little Monday night teaser right now. We got the Raiders-Chargers. So I think the Chargers break this just facade. This ridiculous
Raiders
mirage.
Are 3-0.
It's unbelievable. And they've beaten good teams too. Like Miami without Tua, that's not a great team, and they almost blew it. But getting the win over Pitt and Baltimore? Or those the other two tough defenses?
Kansas City. They played Kansas City week 1. Didn't they?
No.
Are you sure?
Last year they beat Kansas City.
Okay. I'm vetting this because I know they beat the Ravens.
They beat a good defense. I'm trying to think who it was, but
it was definitely a somewhat decent team. Steelers.
The Steelers. So it was the Steelers. Okay. Yeah, those are big wins. Those are good teams, and they've got their issues this year, but.
Yep, so Ravens, Steelers, and then Dolphins.
If you had given
Chargers, Bears.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have taken some heavy odds that was not the case, that they were going to start with 3 wins. But here they are, so got to give them a little bit of credit.
With Kansas City last in the division.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's so early in the year. Don't lose heart. Don't panic unless you're a Bears fan. Stay the course. You'll get right. You get those wins. And again, all of a sudden you go from 0-3 to 3-3, and you're just right back in it.
Just click the link to put $10 in one of their partners, and they give you a Hall of Fame sub for 4 months free. Gotcha. So you make a couple bucks on that transaction then?
Kinda.
Right? Marcy likes the knuckleheads here. So
we love you back, Marcy. You're the best.
We're into that too.
Sad that you crushed us in fantasy.
And the Hauser 41 points away from victory. You got some work to do. A lot of work to do. Need Hurts to pick it up.
Yeah. a lot.
We just saw Miles Sanders 24-yard ruch. So
all right, so Miles Sanders,
2 carries, 27 yards so far.
Some people asking about Sanders, and I think
no one liked my Nick Photoshop in Discord yesterday. I saw it, and
it was. It was something. That's why we're not hiring you to do the graphics.
We got somebody else to do thumbnails.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I've got a lucky horseshoe up my butt because he's only got 3 points so far. So no more Cooper touches. No more Cooper touches.
Yeah.
CUW fanboy, welcome in. Cowboys can't stop the run. Rip CD and Amari fantasy value. Eagles. He meant the Eagles can't stop the run.
I think that CD. Yeah, they're running well against them, but I would be surprised if they didn't have a couple more points for CD and Amari in there. But somebody said they needed no Amari, right? So we're rooting against it.
Let's see. I put $100 in Prize Picks, and Prize Picks gave me an extra 100 to use on their site. Still can't believe it, says Karna.
Yeah, all these apps, it's interesting. There's a lot of promotions where you can get, free 100 here, free 100 there. And I think Ethan said he's signed up for all of them. He's got like 50 accounts where he's just getting the free money.
He's got a lot of accounts, for sure.
But that's how they hook you. Be careful with that gambling.
Chiefs at the bottom of the AFC West for the first time since 2015. I saw that, and I think it's the first time they've been under 500 since 2015.
Yeah, we'll see where they end up.
Something crazy like that, too. Broncos also undefeated. Broncos, again, with a good defense.
Broncos really, we talked about, I think they have invested the most actual money in their defense of any NFL team. They've got some talented guys. They're showing up.
I think Surtain picked off another one this week.
Their offense still getting some injuries, but Teddy Bridgewater he's been for real. He's been good.
All right, so everybody is pretty much unanimous here. We want a lot of CD and no Amari.
Works for me.
There we go. All right, so
Let's get weird.
We're hard CD homers in the chat, and I'm good with that.
I like it. Yeah,
I've been touting CD for a while. Mike's got him in Dynasty. I feel like I made some good offers for CD.
Yeah,
and you still turned it down.
Nick's made fair market value offers for CD, and I want more. I want an outrageous I keep shooting him the I don't want to sell him price.
Again, I know this is probably a crazy question to ask, but
okay.
CD or Jamar Chase? Who would you rather have right now?
I'd rather have CD.
Okay. I think that's 100% fair and probably the correct answer.
And part of why is because I've seen enough to buy it more, to believe it more. I think that the Cowboys, I see them continuing this arc of just having a bad defense and a good offense. But Cincinnati is kind of like Cowboys light. I've compared them before, especially when you had the Amari, CD, Gallup. You had the Chase, Higgins, Boyd. The 3 wide receivers. You've got a pretty good running back in Zeke, a pretty good running back in Mixon, who they use, but they don't only use the run. They're not like the Vikings. They're not like the Seahawks that just want to run and run and run. And that's all they want to do.
Right.
They have a high number of pass attempts. They have bad defenses, so they get in the shootouts. So I see a lot of similarities. I see a lot of parallels. And I think Chase, if he continues on the arc that he's been, probably already now, people are going to want similar to buy Chase in Dynasty. You're going to have to pay similar to what you'd have to pay for CeeDee Lamb.
So, and really, I paid that price early on. I paid almost 3.5 first for the number 1 overall pick to take Jamar Chase, and somebody gave me the same value back to take that, which is Chase. So you're already paying full market value for Chase even before you even saw any performance.
And did it play into that decision that kind of the preseason reports were a little bit negative?
Not at all, because I made the same, just slightly under offers than that after those, and he wasn't even interested. Wasn't interested at all.
And I just hope they all have fun. Is he talking about the football players?
Too many conflicting players, so I wish them fun.
Now that he became
too many leagues,
a professor, the educator, and him just coming out like, can't we all just have a nice time?
Right? Participation trophies now.
And you must have been having a couple drinks.
ENR, just take Zeke out for the rest of the game. Don't do it.
The love just flowing out.
Don't do it. No Pollard, only Zeke. See, Zeke's doing so well, they feel like they got to give Pollard touches just so it doesn't look like, he's getting benched.
Yeah, you don't want to seem like you're favoring one guy, right?
Need 17 more from Amari. I doubt that happens. Woody Bulldog is the only Amari guy in here. Woody Bulldog, you're not going to have fun in this chat because I think we all decided we only need CD.
Yeah. Well, the thing is now
Woody,
also,
I need CD. I see it there.
If you want that to happen, what you need is some Eagles scoring to go on, because if they're down, if the Cowboys score on this drive, even with a field goal, if the Eagles go down 7-23, the game script's not going to be the chuck it to Amari. And again, Amari's had some injuries, so if they're leading, they might just rest him up a little bit.
I need Lamb to score without Dak scoring. That would be tough. There was that end around, which was
That
the play.
was your chance.
That was your opportunity for sure.
That was your pitch.
I don't think
I'll get you another one.
Is CD fielding kickoff returns at all? I thought I saw him out there.
He has in other games. I haven't noticed one today.
I'll say that'd be your only opportunity there would be a return.
See, body language looking like a guy who knows this is a running play.
What?
But no, it was a short pass.
Yeah.
It just looked like he wasn't getting the ball.
The shortest of passes. Is James Robinson back, says Pocket? We kind of just touched on it
James
earlier.
Robinson's back enough to either trade or trust. And I'm going to say if you've got him, I'd shop him if I could get, again, Swift is a guy that we've kind of brought up as a target for running backs. Other running backs to target, I'm not recommending buying Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's kind of in that same boat.
Is this?
If you've got him,
If he kept his feet in bounds, that is a great catch for Wilson.
From Wilson.
And I
Mr.
thought about
Wilson.
picking up Wilson. Wilson's had some good plays this season. With Gallup out, I
Yeah.
thought we'd see a little bit more from him, but he's made some good plays. That's going to be out of bounds, unfortunately. Only 1 foot in. Yeah. No, that was a great snack. Absolutely great snack.
The Mannings appreciate it.
Let's go Singleton. All about them IDPs for Karna.
All right.
Can we talk about Tyson Williams? I'm a bit annoyed. I'd love to talk about Tyson Williams.
I played Tyson. I had a lot of people that I talked to that played Tyson. You were starting to believe, and he's looked like the guy with the most juice in that backfield, but
You can drop him.
I would, if you need to drop a guy.
You should hold him, but you can drop him.
If you need to drop a guy, you could drop Tyson. I would hold him, but it's so hard when you've got a guy where that can be the outcome where he doesn't get involved, and that's part of the game plan. It's hard to trust that guy and to start that guy, so you might have a big game, but you don't know that it's coming, and you can't start him. The guys that are unpredictable, that have big game, low game, big game, low game, low game, those are one of the worst ones to own, and you're trying to move them after a big game. I would hold him if he has
even
a decent game the next week.
Even the first game that he got most of the workload, though, like Latavius Murray was already getting touches, and I feel like that was the biggest telling factor of that whole basically half of third quarter and fourth quarter. They were letting Latavius Murray take all those touches.
Whitty's saying what I'm saying. Wait for another big game and get something for him. I don't know. You could try for 1 or 2 weeks, but if you see, let's say he comes out and has 8 carries and 3 fantasy points next week, then you're really leaning towards drop. I'd give him another week of holding. I wouldn't start him next week.
Yeah, that's what kind of sucks about the J.K. Dobbins injury is Dobbins goes down, and now none of the running backs in that offense are usable.
Yeah, you thought for a hot second that maybe it was Tyson. He had a nice matchup, and it did not come to fruition.
Yeah. Yeah, Murray also had a big run called back. I think Murray is probably the guy to own if you had to own somebody.
I think Murray's going to have similar kind of
I don't think he's going to be great.
Yeah.
I think he has the best chance at week-to-week
The
touchdowns.
coaching staff has come out and said they want it to be a running back by committee, which most backfields are, but it's truly just, Tyson didn't get the attempts. Maybe if he'd gotten the attempts and he just had a bad game, but I don't know the exact number of carries he had, but it was not great. His targets and carries were low, I remember.
Or says Lamb is doing punt return. So
okay,
how do you
there's your
feel
chance.
about
I don't want him to have him returning punts.
I wouldn't either.
No, keep him safe. That is a dynasty, not even my dynasty team. Like you as the Cowboys, he is a huge piece of your future. Yeah. And I would not want to be risking him. If you ever played football, if you ever did kickoff or punt return, that is the most
that is no joke.
You feel like you're going to get killed playing football because you were just running full speed down the field. I've been on both ends of it. I've been when I just nailed a guy who didn't know it was coming. I've been when I got blindsided. And you get
not fun.
Blown up. I had my whole shoulder was just a black and blue bruise from one game where I just got nailed by a guy who must have had me by 80 pounds. And you can get murdered because you have so much buildup. That's why they've
made a mistake.
Oh, they've softened the return game. That's why they've changed the rules, is because you have such a potential to get murdered by a grown NFL player running at full speed from a 30-yard buildup.
All right, so in this game so far, Zeke, 11 carries, 60 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Tony Pollard, 10 carries, 56 yards. So both of them, 5.5 carries, 5.5 yards per carry. which is great.
Yeah.
Zeke also has 3 catches for 21 yards. Dalton Schultz has 4 catches for 48 yards and a touchdown. That is
an injury prone for me.
Yes.
Hopefully not for CD.
Mike is injury prone.
I didn't miss a game.
Oh, man. Blake Jarwin, 2 catches, 14 yards. CeeDee Lamb, only 1 target for CD so far. Hopefully he gets a little bit more involved as the game goes. Goddard, 1 catch for 38 yards. Miles Sanders, 1 for 9. Otherwise, really bad. If you started Devonta Smith this week, I think I did in 1 league. Not great. 1 catch for 5 yards. And Jalen Hurts, he's got himself a Justin Fields so far with 57 yards passing.
Yeah.
So not
We
too
got
good.
to highlight Karna's high school experience. JV team got a helmet to the stomach once. Goodbye breathing for a while. And we just missed the fear of concussion era. So we were smoking each other in the head with our helmets. You just try and put your helmet on the guy's chin when you were doing the kick return. Man, I never returned the kicks. I was just blocking.
Have you had like the wind knocked out of you, like real wind?
I've had the wind knocked out of me once when I went off a ski jump, landed on my back was maybe the worst. And I also took a soccer ball, like we were just doing warm ups and just straight. Yeah, I've had the wind knocked out of me.
Have you had this happen,
times.
Chad? I just remember as a kid on the playground, was on the swings and we were trying to do flips, and I belly flopped and I thought I died. I thought I blew my lungs up.
It's a panicking feeling.
For sure, because you're just completely deflated.
The skiing one, I was trying to tell my buddies that I was like alive because they were like, "Did you break anything?" And I was just trying to say like I got the wind knocked out of me, and all I could do was go wind. I couldn't even get.
All right, Devontae Smith with a 19-yard reception. Nice catch
All
and
right,
run
so
there.
Smith getting involved. I know some people were starting him this
Don't
week.
break him. Don't break him.
He's so little.
Leave him alone. God. Throw the ball to Smith. Let's go, baby.
All right, it's happening.
You like that? You like that?
Banjo, I slipped on a rug on hardwood. So that's no joke. We have hardwood at our house, and walking around with socks on, it can get dangerous. It can get dangerous, I tell you what.
Well,
especially in the stairs. Got to watch out.
that was the least impressive mode of injury that we've had so far.
Oh, man. Gabe, you guys are all right. I love the stream, even though Buddy is wearing all that Blackhawks gear.
Yeah, so I had to pivot from the Bears stuff. I usually just go full-blown Bears regalia, but after that awful game, I need a week off to...
If it makes you feel any better, he's a bandwagon Blackhawks fan.
I follow the Blackhawks. I'll watch games throughout the season. I pay much more attention in the playoffs if they make the playoffs.
Yeah. I watch playoff hockey, and that's pretty much the only hockey, unfortunately.
I forget what I was even saying. But anyways,
It doesn't matter.
yeah, we just the Cubs, they're bad right now. Can't wear the Cubs stuff. The Bulls, I might have to dust off the old Bulls stuff. I'm sure it doesn't fit anymore, but
That's okay.
yeah.
That's okay. He's a Chicago Wolves fan. We're just an all Chicago.
You know what I
kinda-
don't have?
kinda
I haven't
group.
been able to find one. I want a U.S. men's curling shirt. I'm going to get that when the Olympics roll around.
That looks like holding on the Cowboys again.
I saw a preview. I think the Super Bowl and the Winter Olympics are going to be going on same time this year. So
that'll be good. You're a
excited
big
for that.
Olympics fan.
I do. I get into the Olympics. Any USA stuff like I like the World Cup. I get into the men's World Cup. They never make it anymore. But
Anything
I
they have a
watch
chance for, you're into.
It's like similar with women's sports. I got nothing against women's sports, but I don't get into like WNBA or anything. But like when the Olympics rolls around or when the World Cup ladies team goes, I will get into that, and I do enjoy watching those.
I'm a Walter Payton fan.
All right.
Well, again,
We like Walter.
Us Bears fans, we got to really cherish those moments
We gotta-
because look what we have to deal with now.
If you go back to the Facebook, you can see us talking about how we just live in the past, and that's how we stay happy, keep it together. But
Yep. Lightfoot is kissing the Bears' butt right now because she has finally taken the move, possibly serious. I hope the Bears move.
yeah, no, I hope that they sell the team, the McCaskies. They had a good run, but we're ready for some new management. We're talking about the guy that managed the Cubs, Epstein.
Yeah.
So we were talking about him being the new,
I'm okay with
getting
that.
involved.
If you know talent, you know talent, I guess. Just
Yeah.
hire the right people.
Well, again, they're not necessarily even the guys that took over the Cubs. They just better managers than a lot of people that you see. But
And it seems like they have a plan.
Karna, a volleyball fan.
There you go. Hope for Saquon, or is it a trap, says Pocket. Saquon had a pretty decent game. I think he had 7 targets in the game. Again, I was never out on Saquon. I just want to see him stay healthy, which he seems to be doing all right.
No, all right. So here's again my whole thing on Saquon. A lot of it was just he's coming off of the ACL, the way that he injured it early, but the surgery it took a while. I don't think he had that till November. So I knew going into the season. I think a lot of people didn't realize that he was just barely going to be getting over that. I didn't know if he was even going to play the first couple games, which again they had him limited. So I saw that coming. That was one concern. He's looked decently healthy. He's had a couple pretty explosive plays. He's ramping up his involvement.
And there's no other offensive weapons.
But not anymore. But as a similar thing, part of it was, it's like, all right, they got Kadarius, they got Sterling, they got Galladay, they got, all these wide receivers. They seem to want to throw the ball. Danny Dimes will take away some of the rushing. I didn't think they would target him as much as prime Saquon when he had his monster years, which I still don't think they will. But again, some of those guys with Sterling going down, with Ingram being banged up, with Kadarius being a ghost.
I was looking at a post on Reddit and some old stats, and like Saquon used to get, 8-10 targets a game.
And
he was getting heavy.
So I heard analysis,
that was Eli Manning, though.
I just listened to a million podcasts, and that was one of the things that stood out to me is I agree with that. I think that the narrative for him seeing less targets, even if he is healthy, could go down.
Nick Chubb or Saquon Barkley?
Nick Chubb by a mile for me.
Nick Chubb's not getting the work.
Nick Chubb I'd still rather have than Saquon.
I'd rather have Saquon than Nick Chubb right now.
Nick Chubb is on such a better offense. But
they're not utilizing him. He got 16 carries this week, which is nice, but no targets.
Yeah, 16 carries though. He's good. He's going to be good for some long
B-Dubs,
touchdowns.
welcome in. Should I pick up Josh Gordon? Here's the thing.
No.
Don't
do it. Why? Josh Gordon, we've seen enough. We know how this ends. He's going to be suspended in 2 weeks. Oh my gosh.
If you have a deep roster,
Josh Gordon celebrates his reinstatement. Every year he celebrates his reinstatement.
You had your chance.
With just a
you
heavy
had
drug
your
binge.
chance.
Yeah, he's done.
Oh my god.
Get him out of here.
If you've got nobody else good on your bench,
surely there's something.
I'm rostering Freeman. I'm rostering Le'Veon Bell in a league because I'm just hoping somebody becomes relevant.
Those are running backs.
I know, but I'm just saying they're worthless.
If he's a running back, I'd pick him
If you're holding a backup defense or a backup quarterback, then yes, I'm dropping them for Josh Gordon.
Just keep your Rondale Moore, who let you down, and he'll have better games.
You should drop Rondale Moore.
You shouldn't drop Rondale for Gordon. That's going to be
the
worst move that people make, and you're going to see so many people make that move this week.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't do that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
My God. Josh Gordon is not a thing. He hasn't been a thing for
Rondale Moore, Josh Gordon rest of the season.
Rondale.
I'll
bet
you.
That one we can put somebody on.
Come on.
Bet you $20 that Rondale Moore has more fantasy
AJ Green or
points.
Rondale Moore rest of season.
Oh, I'll take Rondale over AJ Green.
Really?
Now Josh Gordon and AJ Green. Now you found the line.
It's gotten spicy now.
I'd have to take 2 drinks.
Rondale Moore. How?
Oh, so every time we say AJ Green, you have to take a drink. Every time we say Josh Gordon, you have to do some illicit substance.
Oh my God, I love it.
Take a rip for Josh Gordon, but
yeah, there it is.
we do not endorse that type of behavior. So moving on.
Yeah, we can move on. Again,
Don't ever pick up Josh
Gordon in the Chiefs' offense.
Don't let Nick try and tell you in Dynasty that Josh Gordon's a thing. If Josh Gordon comes out and has a touchdown, for the love of God, don't buy Josh Gordon.
I picked up Josh Gordon in our
gosh.
Dynasty League. We have very deep benches. I dropped the backup tight end for the Chargers. It was more of a meme play.
How many times has Josh... This is a real question. How many times has Josh Gordon been suspended?
I think this is the 4th reinstatement.
Is this 4 times?
I think it's 4.
Oh, that's a pattern. A pattern, they call it.
Here's the thing. In 2018...
6.
In 2018...
It can't be 6.
2018, he had over 700 receiving yards. In 2019, before he got suspended, he had
that
almost
was a
500.
different decade.
Barely. We've only had between
0
now and
kids
then, all
back
we've
then.
had... That was pre-COVID. Just think about how long ago that was.
Oh, yeah. Back when you could go to the store without wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. No, Josh Gordon.
That's why he got reinstated, because nobody can recognize him when he goes up to his dealer.
I can't believe they keep giving him another chance.
You guys think Jeff Wilson Jr.'s value is going up as San Francisco running back show they can't stay healthy?
I think he's a decent IR stash if you got a spot and nobody to throw in there. I'd rather stash Bateman. I'd rather stash probably Curtis Samuel would be right in that realm, but because running backs are hard to find, if you want to stash him in your IR and if you see he's going to play, just activate him for 1 week, and if he doesn't do anything, drop him.
I've seen people picking up Jaquez. I'm not interested
Jacques.
in any 49ers right now. I'm not picking up.
If you can
Jeff
find
Wilson.
one that can establish
I'm not picking
himself,
up any of them.
there's a lot of season left. And if we can get the one guy that becomes the guy for the 49ers, he's going to have value. But you're suffering through the process
But even
of
if
finding
he's the
him right
guy,
now.
he may only last a quarter. I mean, that's the problem.
That's the risk you take.
Beat-ups, you're looking at Mitchell Sermon split when Mitchell comes back.
Honestly,
Honestly,
I think it's going to be Mitchell.
I don't want any 49ers because of this reason. But when Mitchell comes back, I think it's probably actually Mitchell.
Yeah, I think that the worst case scenario is maybe you get kind of a Gaskin and
Ahmed.
I don't know what was the Bears guy that I already forgot about him. When the Miami
Jordan
Dolphins
Howard?
at the beginning of last year, Jordan Howard, when it was like Gaskin would get the majority of the running work, and then Jordan Howard would come in and punch in the 1 yard touchdown. That's what I worry Mitchell and Sermon could be.
6 carries, 5
Sermon
touchdowns.
looks like a solid dude who could smash it through. That typical goal line back.
Yeah.
And Mitchell's a little bit more speedy, but
No, he definitely looks solid. And also, too, they gave Mitchell the job over Sermon week 1 and week 2.
Yeah, when Sermon was healthy.
And Mitchell looked good. He didn't look bad with the work. So I
he
think
looked good
there's-
against the Lions. He looked mediocre at best.
He looked okay, but then
in
he
his
got hurt.
next start
And
against a
I don't
tougher
think
team.
again, you take the touchdown away from Sermon, he had 4.1
He
points.
wasn't-
I think.
he wasn't
was
good.
Pedestrian.
When Juszczyk is going in there,
Exactly. Juszczyk got the same amount of
if it's just
workload.
Juszczyk, then everyone can just.
Oh, there it is. Josh Gordon catching passes. Look at him.
Oh,
Elite.
the year was
Elite.
1847. Josh Gordon,
No,
hit a-
that was 2018. You're
fresh off
mistaken.
his 7th suspension.
I think Wilson will be the guy when he comes back. He was dominating. I just don't see it. I just don't see an undrafted free agent staying
Coming
in there.
off an injury.
When they drafted 2 running backs, the thing is they drafted 2 running backs just to save face. You gotta play them. Got to play him. Got to get him involved, and got to keep moving forward. We haven't talked any waivers. We haven't even gotten any core.
We just talked about some. We talked
information
about
out there.
Chuba. Talked about Josh Gordon. How you shouldn't pick him up on your waiver.
What about Peyton Barber?
Peyton Barber's an illusion. Don't pick him up. Maybe Josh Gordon comes back this
Can we
week.
drop Kenyon Drake?
How many points does Kenyon even have?
I'll check here, but I want your
Yeah.
answer before.
Yeah.
Dub the guy with the subscription. Been subscribed for 13 months.
Oh,
Thank you.
strong
thank
play,
you.
sir.
Much appreciated. When are we gonna play games again? When are we hanging out? And thank you for keeping up to date on the Discord. Much appreciated on that as well. Let's see. Kenyon Drake had 7.2 points. He had 8 attempts for 24 yards and 3 catches for 33 yards.
Yeah.
Here's his snap percentage the last 3 weeks: 48%, 71%, 43%.
So 71 was better.
Trash.
I don't.
This is a roster clogger. Again, this is the best
You're
situation.
just saying how 8 points is fine from a running back.
But again, this is the best situation you're going to have from Kenyon Drake is having Josh Jacobs out.
I
and
agree
he's
with
still
that.
only getting you 7
I agree
points.
with that. I completely agree.
There's
that
no upside.
when you got Kenyon Drake, your hope was that Josh Gordon would miss time and Kenyon Drake would become the workhorse type of guy. And they brought in Peyton Barber and gave him more work. And I agree. I think this is the ceiling for Kenyon Drake is about 8 points.
I agree.
So if you need 8 points,
Yep.
But
In the Hauser, what do you guys think about Emmanuel Sanders?
Flaming Elmo. in the
we
chat.
touched on this earlier. Pass on Emmanuel Sanders. He is
So old.
Cole Beasley still out-targeted him. Well, I think Cole Beasley had
Cole
like
Beasley
14
out-targeted
targets.
everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
Cole Beasley had a
crazy.
billion targets. In PPR, if Cole Beasley's available, which he's not, or if you can trade for him for cheap, go get Cole Beasley in PPR.
Here's the
and
thing,
just play
too.
him.
Like, the touchdowns went
I think
to
his second week wasn't
the
good.
touchdowns went to Emmanuel Sanders this week, but they're going to go to Diggs normally.
Yep.
And Josh Allen's not going to be accountable for 5 touchdowns every week. So you need one of these boom performances. Again, if you're in a best ball league, Emmanuel Sanders is fine. If you need a lot of upside and the Bills are playing late in the day, you can throw Emmanuel Sanders in the flex spot. But week in, week out starter, I just don't see it.
One more Gordon note is we talked about in our viewer league, we had one of our viewers, Mets Rock, who just made some peculiar moves in his draft.
Man's a
and
genius.
all of a sudden, Josh Gordon, who he took in the 6th round, is back in the NFL playing for the most high-powered offense with the Kansas City Chiefs. And if he goes off and is great, Mets is a wizard. Mets might be a wizard.
So there's also a turtle doing Bitcoin buying, cryptocurrency
That's
buying.
what Mets Rock made you think of as a turtle
well,
buying Bitcoin.
The turtle is more accurate buying and selling Bitcoin than people with like actual information. So I think Mets Rock is this turtle, and they're just both absolute
the
geniuses.
actual Mets organization.
It's
is
just
run
how it
as well.
happens. It's just how it happens.
He's probably calling like those fortune teller hotlines, just Miss Cleo, and they're like, Josh Gordon will be back.
Give
for
us the
Kansas City."
details.
Yeah, I need to know the method of the madness. But
Yep, Marcy, there you go. That's the server daddy for sure.
All right.
I'd love to get as a server daddy. 25 viewers on a Monday night, possible new record.
appreciate it.
I think we're holding pretty solid there
if
too.
you're watching and you haven't followed, don't forget to follow. Following
Absolutely.
is free.
It is. It is. And
become
September.
an
You
addict.
got a couple more days for September.
Fantastic.
Yep.
So speaking of fantastic, Noah Fant with a stinker today, or not that today, this weekend. What are your thoughts on Noah Fant? You kind of keep an eye on Fant, don't
I
you?
do.
Do you own him anywhere?
I do not. But
Okay. Or do you own the rights to him as a fantasy football
he
player?
does with
anywhere?
the follow. I do
All
not.
right, buzz.
I had Fant last year, and again, my biggest thing about Fant was Drew Lock really liked to target Noah Fant, and again, 3 targets, 2 catches, 14 yards. I like it a lot. The game script didn't go Noah Fant's way or the passing way like it did the week before. They played the Jets, got out to a really early lead, and really just kind of ran the ball the rest of the day. So I'm not out on him. I'm still starting him. They have a tough stretch here with Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and really Las Vegas and Cleveland coming up, and Washington.
I've dropped most
tough.
most spots where I have a Jets player. I've dropped them. I've dropped Corey Davis and
absolutely.
Elijah Moore. I think I'm holding on to Elijah in one spot where there's deep benches, but
Get him out.
Yeah. So I think that's also how I feel about the Jets. We noted that the Denver Broncos do have a very good defense, but yeah, I think that there's. So that's another little note is just Justin Fields coming out as a rookie quarterback, having an awful performance, largely because of the offensive line and the coaching staff. But all the rookie quarterbacks had a pretty rough day. We had McCorkle. McCorkle had a bad day, had some interceptions. And when you have Jameis Winston coming over to comfort you and pat you on the back about your interceptions, you know you've had a rough day. Zach Wilson having a bad one. Trevor Lawrence, he's been not great in his performances for the rough Jags. So, yeah, I think that you got to give these guys a little bit of time. Don't panic on them, but
We're still
Trevor,
early. Again, it's hard to make predictions on some players and be like, oh, this guy is definitely going to suck from here the rest of the year, and then give other people a pass. You know, it's like we can't give Allen Robinson necessarily a pass if we're going to fade other guys that have had a similar start. But
no, I've hit the fade for Robinson. So
same.
With Robinson, let's
Campbell
talk.
says thoughts on Justin Fields. So we'll just touch on this really quick.
We were
We don't want to
there.
harp on Bears for too long.
I do. That's all I want to talk about.
But the chat doesn't want
I'll
to
go
hear
get
it.
my other hat.
There you go.
So the thing about Fields is we don't know necessarily if Andy Dalton's coming back. Nagy, it appears from what you saw that Nagy's kind of thinking that Dalton's the guy. If Dalton comes back, do we feel better about Allen Robinson than Fields, which we were hoping that Fields...
I was on Reddit and they said, I can't believe it, but I hope Andy Dalton's back.
Yeah. After that, again, the Browns, it's getting overlooked a little bit how good the Browns offense and their defensive line is. But a tiny piece of you does feel that way after seeing that awful performance. If Justin Fields comes out against the Lions next week and he's the guy and he looks much better, I think you're going to see it swing back up, and all of a sudden Robinson, everybody, all right, that Browns one was just him having his first game, getting his feet wet. It was a fluke. They had to see him out there to make some adjustments. Chicago at the moment does not trust the coaching staff to make any smart adjustments because they should have done that in the game after probably the 6th time he got sacked, but... back to the chat.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking we need Dalton back. I think we need to get rid of Nagy, and I'm not panicking on Justin Fields yet.
Yeah, I don't think I've, as a Chicago guy, I've got all the different feeds and things flying at me, 1,000 different pieces of information. Chicago fans as a whole are not blaming Justin Fields for this situation. They are largely blaming Nagy.
Yes.
And then secondarily, the offensive line.
But here's the thing, too. Justin Fields didn't look great, and the 2 knocks against him were he's holding the ball too long, and he's not making enough reads. Well, guess what? He's already holding the ball too long, and he's still not making enough reads in the time he has. So something's not adding up here. And
it was his first performance against a tough defense.
Again,
but
then why don't you use David Montgomery more?
also,
as
analysts.
well?
So that's a great point. That's on the coaches. The analysts around the NFL. So I watch the NFL channel, all those types of things, ESPN. Those guys are also not flaming Fields. They're flaming Nagy and the coaching staff for just. Yeah. I think there's a good one about. I can see if I can link it to the Discord where it's Rex Ryan is just like it's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm a defensive dummy coach, and I know that you don't just drop back into the pocket, that many times in a row when your guys are getting murdered. Like, run some play action, do some rollouts. Right? Is that hard? Like,
it doesn't seem like it should be hard, but
it's frustrating.
yeah.
I'm frustrated.
Lord of Coors, what do you think for week 4, Stafford or Tannehill?
I think you keep rolling with Stafford. Tannehill, he had one up game, but he had the 2 games before weren't good. Stafford's been on fire.
I'm with stupid.
How about with another, we're talking about waivers sometimes, Deshaun Jackson, fool's gold, right?
Why didn't I pick him up in best ball?
You should have picked him up in best ball.
I saw him down there. I'm like,
would have helped this week.
What do I want, Ramondre Stevenson, or do I want, Deshaun Jackson?
I'm waiting for the injury to get announced because he had his one good game.
Should have got Deshaun Jackson. He's on waivers, and waivers open. Actually, waivers are going to open after this week.
All right. Well, it'll be a bidding war because I need somebody that can get
Whispers
some
of Foles. Foles will not play. If Foles plays, they're definitely going to fire.
But if you haven't seen the clip of Foles on the sideline talking to Dalton, where he's just like, "This offense isn't working."
What?
I appreciated that.
Kelsey's worth an
Good
RB1
call,
trade
Foles.
just on positional advantage alone. Agreed.
Well, the RBs right now aren't giving you massive value. You aren't getting, Cook's out, CMC is out. Henry's the only one right now who's like, you couldn't trade for Kelsey at the moment.
And Aaron Jones, probably.
Aaron Jones has been good.
Yeah. He put a big performance out there last week. They're running the same plays intended for Andy Dalton. They were calling for Fields.
Yes. They had it's like they didn't even plan for Fields to be in it all. This whole time,
for a guy that's supposed to be
fans
creative,
are watching and looking at like, hey, all right, when are we going with Fields? We got to get Fields ready. We have all these things in place. Are we getting him ready? Do we have a plan? Or it's like, and it looked like they didn't even consider playing him as a quarterback at any time this year. Like, what have you been doing? What are you doing? It's just infuriating.
And this is how you melt down.
It's
live on air meltdown. There you go.
Everyone in the world was just like, yeah, Fields, we're going to go to Fields. He's going to be the guy. And they were just like, nah, we really like Andy Dalton. That QB1 picture we put
Bears
up.
should sign Bortles. Give him a shot. He's better than Dalton. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter who quarterbacks the Bears. It really depends on the coaching staff.
Do you want to go to war, Balaki?
Which shouldn't make a difference, but it makes a huge difference, and Nagy is brutal. The problem is if Nagy goes, Pace is probably on the way out too. And I don't hate Pace, but again.
And UDK, you said, I think I tweeted fire Nagy about 60 times. Just kept hitting the button.
Yep. I mean, that's okay.
There's nothing Fields could have done. It's like he was holding on the ball for a little while, but I don't know. He's just trying not to fumble when he got smoked.
Deshaun Jackson, I'm not fully buying into Deshaun Jackson.
No, don't pick up Deshaun. It's fool's gold. He'll have a couple boom games, but he'll have more games where he does nothing.
I'm keeping my peepers on it.
Nah.
But yeah, if I need a boom bust guy again, if I'm down 40 points going into a night matchup, I'm rolling Deshaun Jackson.
That's a good point. So like
Robert Woods or Deshaun Jackson if you need 30 points.
But Deshaun, even like 30 is a little unattainable. If you need 20 or something. But I was talking about my guy, Shaquille O'Neal, the guy who got his first win.
Yeah.
And I was trying to educate him on the boom bust guys because he went down early against Terry McLaurin when they played the Thursday night game. I was like, all right, you got some of these guys in here who, are probably good for 10 points. So let's say you had like, a Sterling Shepard, maybe you had like a Jarvis Landry type guy. And I was trying to tell him, there's guys like Marquez Callaway. There's guys like Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Everybody named Marquez. You just go out there. They're your boom bust guys. So if you need a giant, touchdown or 2 giant touchdowns because you're down a lot, you plug those guys in. So that's another just minor fantasy note.
Is Julio washed? I don't think he played the last part of the game, says Cambo. I just looked it up. He's got 50% of snaps last week. So
here's the other thing.
Julio.
If A.J. Brown misses time, it sounds like he's week to week with a hamstring. Then I think Julio all of a sudden I'm a lot more interested in for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I think we're going to need to see the situation with the Titans play out a little bit.
That's another good reason to avoid Tannehill and go with Stafford is with 100%. AJ being out.
I agree. I like Derrick Henry, though.
Yeah, Derrick Henry, good at football. He run real hard. It runs real hard.
Yeah. He's not, but Tannehill sucks. Tannehill is not.
Tannehill has had a tough first 2 games. He was better in that last game. But like I said, you lose your stud wide receiver. Just run the ball. Just give it to Henry.
When will San Francisco bench Jimmy G?
Maybe never.
I'd rather have Andy Dalton than Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, Jimmy Garoppolo is not a good NFL quarterback. He is a complete mirage. If he was ugly, he wouldn't be playing in the NFL. Like, I just don't. I don't understand it. He's not a good quarterback. His average depth of target on a completion is like 4.2 yards. Like, I don't know why they don't just throw Lance in there already. If they want to let him sit and learn, fine. But again, they keep doing what they did with Fields week 1. They keep giving you a taste of Lance. You know, like, here, go run this touchdown in, Trey Lance. Here you go. Because, Jimmy Handsome, he can't do that.
They did that with Fields, and we wanted to see him, and then it didn't go well.
I don't like it.
Bub, I
don't like it.
It bothers him how they don't use Sanders. Why doesn't Sanders get more use on Philly? He's shown flashes of decent talent. He's got pretty decent
Miles Sanders should get more
capital.
I
feel the same.
I'm a no Eagles kind of guy, but Miles Sanders gets a bad rap. The reason we always faded Miles Sanders was because Doug Peterson was a buffoon.
He was bad at fantasy running backs.
Yes. It seems like they want to use Miles Sanders. They're not throwing Boston Scott of all people in there to take any reps away from him. They just need to run the ball more.
Gainwell. So
true. Gainwell has been utilized, but Jalen Hurts is really the one. If he's going to take points away from you, there goes Goddard for another nice long carry.
So Goddard, interesting little. I don't know. Goddard's been good. Ertz, I had some hopes that maybe Ertz would have a little bit of a resurgence, but not the case.
Tannehill's also getting used to the new offensive coordinator. I don't know. I feel like this offensive coordinator is pretty much doing the same thing. Hey, why don't you just keep running the ball?
They use less play action in the first couple games. That's also where Tannehill is. They need to use more play action. That's really what he was good at. Opens up things for him.
But yes, Bubonic, welcome in. Thanks for hanging out with us. But yeah, I really wish Sanders would get more work.
I think I called you Bob. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
All right, go to Ertz. Let's get Ertz being a thing again.
I feel like when he touches the ball, it's positive. Here's the thing with Miles Sanders, too. It's like, again, a pro and a con from him last year was he'd have a decent stat line, 10 carries for 80 yards and a touchdown. But he'd have a 70-yard touchdown. So that means his other 9 carries went for 10 yards. Like, it was kind of fool's gold, but it's also he has that opportunity every play to break a long one and get a bunch of points. So it's hard to separate right now. I'd definitely like to see him get some more work and get consistent work, like 15, 20, carries a game.
But he's been in the upper echelons of running backs as far as performance this year so far. And we got a pick. It looks like it's going for 6. So Cowboys keep it going. And again, if you needed Amari Cooper not to have points, I think that less chance they're going to need to bomb it to Cooper.
Yep. Washington, welcome in. Thanks for hanging out with us. Yeah, that's the problem. His stats are quite misleading. For sure. You go through last year, it's like, oh, why aren't we higher on, Miles Sanders? It's like most of his carries go for nothing. But again, the offensive line last year was a lot worse than it is this year. They actually have figured it out, that offensive line, pretty well this season. And again, why are you making bad throws when you can?
All right, so if you want to hear, we're going to give a listener league update real quick. So Marcy's beating me by handily. She's going to get the win this week. Let's see. We'll go to the league.
Hurts is trash, says Cambo. I'm playing against Hurts, so that's still giving me a chance.
All right, Nick's going to beat Ian.
Oh, yeah.
We got
because I have Zeke, because Zeke is great.
Bambo looks like he's winning big. Going to beat Sleeping Giant, the Texas Rattlesnakes, who only have 63 points. So rough week for them.
Not great.
Greg losing to the Boston Stranglers. Pocket pulling out the win against the lesser Nordstrom. RB Roller beating Make It Totter, the man who lost every Ravens running back that you possibly could.
Totter thought if he drafted 3 of them, one of them would hit.
I'll trade you Tyson.
Incorrect.
And then we got Mets Rock, who is losing to Sogo at the moment. So
I need 7 points out of Pollard or Sanders. I think you're going to get there. 7 points, I think, is doable, especially with how much they're probably going to run. If
Sogo, congratulations on your first win, it looks like.
Yep, and sorry, ENR, it had to be like this, but I needed that dub. Pocket, Gainwell is better than Sanders, who is also injury-prone. Gainwell, I don't think, has the profile to be a 3-down.
He doesn't have the size.
Yeah. Correct. I think it's going to be, again, I actually like Gainwell if he can kind of get in the mix a little bit, but that offense, again, offense is too.
He was an interesting pick for the Eagles because it's like, all right, we've got Boston Scott. Let's get a slightly better version of Boston Scott, and that's what they did.
No, I think Gainwell offers a little bit of boost.
Pocket undefeated in the listener league. Too easy, he says.
I'm done with you, Nick. Sorry, Ian.
We're going to have to load
There's
up
always
with
next
talent.
week. Hurts looks good and then throws the brainless passing games and just looks bad.
Any worry that Portnoy had the fix in and made the Nagy have a terrible game plan so that he wouldn't have to pay out all the money to the Bears fans with the 1985 bet?
I hope Nagy is
I wouldn't put it past
that
susceptible.
Easily susceptible.
One bite. Everybody knows the rules.
Gainwell is nice, but he was brought in to be the RB2 at best. Again, I like the tape on Gainwell actually before the season. You were actually down on
I didn't.
the tape.
Again, I don't like the tiny little scatbacky running backs. I don't know. See, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is the perfect example of a guy that I sizes him, and I was like, nah, this guy's too small to run it between the tackles. He's not going to be good. And here we are.
But give me, and this is a question for you, Washington, and just based on Mike's point
The college game seems to be going that way of the smaller running back a little bit more in my eyes.
But what NFL team?
NFL not as much.
What NFL team uses kind of a scat back enough to where you could start them?
There are teams that have done it in the past. James White was one that comes to mind that was relevant until he got injured.
Tariq Cohen is probably an example of that.
Cohen sucks.
I'm not putting Kareem Hunt in that category. He's not really like a speedster or receiving only guy.
No, he's not a scatback type guy. Yemi Hines.
Yeah, you see a couple places, but really not a ton. Like Mike
the
said,
Raiders
not a ton
have like
today's,
15 of them that none of them are good.
If anything, Gainwell's taking touches away from Sanders.
What was the Lions guy that he was? Was it Amir Abdullah?
Amir Abdullah was the running back. No, there was.
Who am I thinking of? Salvin Ahmed? No. It's,
who was the backup? I know who you're talking about, too.
Yeah. But the Lions had their guy that was kind of their, passing.
Cohen's trash. Cohen and then Hines.
I'm trying to tell you.
Cohen had 106 targets. I know I keep saying that stat. He had 106 targets the year before he got hurt.
Two seasons back.
Yeah, it was a while now. Riddick.
There
it is. Theo Riddick.
No rumors of Cohen's return, and it's fine with me.
No, I think he's pretty.
I hope good things for him as a human, but not for as
none of them are
Bears
consistent RB1s. Exactly. We haven't seen since what? Sproles. Sproles is probably the last one on the
I
Eagles.
just named like 15 of them.
No, I mean ones that were startable fantasy options.
Okay.
I think Sproles was the last.
PPR, they're
really
all like the
one.
desperation. Add them late in your draft, and then when your running back goes down, you can start them. They can get you like 10 to 12 points. I get it.
Eckler is good.
The thing about those backs is like defenses in the NFL seem smart enough to understand like, oh, that guy's the guy. They're not going to run it between the tackles. They're probably going to do a stupid little pass to Cohen when he runs laterally for -3. 15-minute play for just back and forth, loss of 2.
Let's go through a couple more pickups here for the season.
Eckler's awesome. Eckler is also kind of transcended into the more.
We got one.
You do things with your hands when you talk.
We got
as well.
one.
Sometimes you
we
move
got
your hands.
one. Najee Harris, new scat back, 14 catches.
There you go.
Come on, that is the largest scat back I've ever seen in my life.
So much scat.
All right, on the waivers, Emmanuel Sanders. I'm not picking him up.
Nah.
Dawson Knox. If you're really hurting from tight end,
for tight end,
I'm not blowing my waiver priority on Dawson, nor am I giving up money for Dawson. Tommy Tremble is interesting. He got involved a little bit, got a touchdown, and they traded away Dan Arnold.
I was going to say that.
Yep. Keep an eye on Tommy Tremble. Hunter Renfrow. I mentioned this before. Hunter Renfrow gets a lot of targets. 9, 7, and 6 targets.
You could do
10,
worse.
8, and 16. He's in the Beasley category.
Yeah,
for me
if
now.
you're dying for wide receiver, that's like the kind of guy where you trade away a slightly better wide receiver in some package to get a running back, and then you pick him up.
Yeah, if you're hurting your 0-3 and you can do a package trade for a really good receiver that you're guaranteed points with, Hunter Renfrow is a nice flex fill-in if you need it. Tyler Conklin, I'm not fully bought in Tyler Conklin.
So
yeah,
Conklin
there's a little bit of
had
hype. 7 catches, 70 yards, and a touchdown.
I thought he had even more targets than that,
But here's a snap percentage: 71, 80, 72. That's encouraging.
So they did trade for Chris Herndon from the Jets, and he has not been. I haven't seen anything from him.
Let's keep an eye on Conklin though, because
seems like Conklin is the tight end for the Vikings.
4
right
targets,
now.
4 targets, 8 targets. That's more than a lot of tight ends out there.
And the narrative about the Vikings wanting to run all the time has shifted. They're throwing the ball more,
especially when their number 1 running back is hurt.
All right, the next one on the list is interesting, but you want to go to chat first?
Yeah, real quick. You guys buying Christian Kirk? He falls in the category as Rondell Moore. It's like there are guys that will have boom, but you can't start him. You can never start him ever.
If DeAndre Hopkins is out, both of those guys, in my eyes, do jump into the flex category.
But which one are you starting?
Both. Like, I think you could. If Hopkins is out, I think you can start both of those guys in your flex. Like,
you're going to be sad.
They should each see 7 targets at least if Hopkins is out, maybe more. That team's throwing the ball a lot.
Which one though? Like one of them will be good, and the other one
both
will be
of them
bad.
will see 7 to 10 targets if DeAndre Hopkins misses.
Disagree.
Times. You don't think that meant?
No. Sanders had 8, 6, and 6. He might not be horrible on Buffalo. Emmanuel Sanders. Yeah, but like look at the point totals that we've got. 7 points, 6 points, 24 points. Like, it's just not consistent enough. Again, and Gabe Davis has been not involved in the mix. He's going to get more involved as well. And Diggs hasn't been.
The note about Emmanuel Sanders is if you are hurting for a wide receiver this week, they have a solid matchup against Houston next week. So maybe you get away with one more big game. Maybe if you have him and he has one more big game, then you try to trade.
Right. Sanders, the last 2 weeks, 8 targets and 10 targets. Like, he's going to get more than that.
Yeah, and Diggs had 9.2 fantasy points, and a lot of those weeks are going to be Diggs with the big points and the touchdown, and Emmanuel Sanders just
for sure
in the shadows.
We know what Sanders is. Sanders is there to ruin Diggs'
very
fantasy
old
output.
wide receiver.
Renfro's number wide receiver 1 and will get points consistently, but never like
Yeah, he's kind of in
for
that
sure.
the Beazle category.
Yeah,
of just
100%.
A guy who gets a lot of targets. If you have PPR, he could do worse.
Zach Moss is probably not on your waivers, but he's being added
Zach
places.
Moss is interesting.
8 carries and 13 carries back-to-back, double-digit, 14
Yeah.
points, 16 points.
If you see the 0 in the first week, he was a healthy scratch, but
2 touchdowns last week and 1 touchdown this week. So
that's pretty good.
yeah, I'm interested in Zach Moss only because the running back position is brutal
And
right
Zach
now.
Moss is a co-starting running back. He has an injury history. Wouldn't shock me if as soon as you trust him, he gets hurt. But
Right, and Josh Allen had a rushing touchdown
take
this
that
week,
chance
but
sometimes.
Josh Allen hasn't been rushing as many touchdowns and rushing in general as much this season. So keep an eye on that. Deshaun Jackson's an ad. Alexander
talked
Madison
about-
should already be owned.
Yeah.
Tim Patrick is probably already owned. Actually, he's only rostered in 37% of leagues.
So 11, 11, 12. Like, that's what you're probably going to get most weeks
And really,
out of
look
Tim
at
Patrick.
4 targets with a lot of wide receivers out, 5 targets. So
Yeah, but KJ Hamler just went
He's
down,
just efficient
so
with
maybe
those
he jumps
targets.
up to 8 targets, and then he's a
And
little
honestly,
more.
he gets like 4 catches and a touchdown consistently. Tim Patrick, again,
Decent
for a flex.
football player.
I'm putting in there with Renfro and Beasley.
All right, everybody
thing.
get your drinks ready. The next man on the list,
I'm not. Are we going there?
It's a trap.
AJ Green.
AJ Green.
AJ
At
Green.
the game of his life.
12 points and then 15 points back-to-back weeks.
Oh, no.
6
Don't
targets,
like
6
that.
targets, 6 targets.
It's just a mirage.
You could do worse than flexing AJ Green.
They got the Rams and then San Francisco and then Cleveland, so there's a rough stretch for
You could do worse than flexing. I'm not saying you should.
It's a trap.
I'm not saying you should.
No.
But you could do worse. AJ Green or Ruggs.
Ruggs.
You're a liar.
Ruggs.
You're a liar.
How about Hollywood drops the ball Brown?
So Ruggs, again, is still owned in 70% of leagues. Not started around, but 7 targets last 2 weeks, 4 catches, 78 yards this week. No touchdown, but he did look more involved.
Going up against the Chargers, who've been kind of a shootout-y team.
This is what I want to see increase. 65% snap share, 67-58. That's trending the wrong way. Again, they got out to a pretty good lead against Miami, but I would hope he is utilized more than that for what he
I
is.
think you see the Raiders get exposed in this next game, but they played good against some tough teams.
AJ Green or Renfro?
Renfro.
Yeah. I can't go quite that far yet.
Anyone else?
I'm trying to think of who
I
I
know
would
how
start.
low it would have to be.
AJ Green,
Jordan Howard,
or Robert Woods.
Right, salt in your wound.
We've gotten there.
The
haven't
Robert
we?
Wood fans are.
We've gotten there,
They're
haven't
hanging
we?
on by a thread, and you do that to them.
Robert Woods, 3 catches for 33 yards. Robert Woods had.
I'm going to go buy Robert Woods tonight. I'm going to buy him in some league, and I'm going to break the curse.
11 points, 9.5, and then 5 points. Not great there, Bob. Not great there, Bob.
Hollywood, Florida Brown.
Hollywood Brown. So drops 2 touchdowns.
NIUDK, Georgia Brown. Sweet Georgia Brown.
All right. So real talk. If you are Harbaugh, and you got to decide what to do
All right.
with Hollywood Brown, with Rashad Bateman coming back. Hollywood Brown, 7 targets, 3 catches for 53 yards, but he dropped 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Like, are you
In his hands
Are you
balls.
super thrilled that he got open and had those touchdown opportunities, or are you too pissed about him dropping them?
Marquise Hollywood Brown, your number 1 first-round draft pick in the NFL draft. I think you're still rolling out there. You're still using him. With Rashad Bateman coming back, hopefully Bateman can be the hands guy that catches all the balls, and Marquise can drop 2 and then catch a touchdown. I think he is what we think he is.
I'm still okay with starting Marquise Brown. I'm not going to start him this week against Denver, probably.
Nah. And then Indy, whose defense has been tough.
We're
Chargers.
going to give you a pass this week. So I'm still okay with it. 16 points, 22 points. Again, if he would have dropped 1 touchdown and caught the other one, he's got double-digit points again. Hollywood Brown, if people are down on him, I might try and go get him for really cheap.
Renfro is more Carr's go-to wide receiver, but how about Captain Clutch, Brian Edwards? So Brian Edwards, if you've
Brian
got
Edwards
him,
is making big plays, but
you've been able to play him.
He's not making a lot of plays. What is this?
I think Peyton at an Eli game and in the crowd with a
It's an Ole
trendy
Miss
cowboy hat.
Watching Ruggs' baby Tyreek, if he wasn't targeted as much, or if Tyreek wasn't able to get as much separation.
I think I wouldn't even utter their names in the same breath.
I think Ruggs, the way Ruggs plays and with his speed, I think it forces Carr to make riskier passes, and he's just way more comfortable throwing it to Waller or Renfro, which is more intermediate. If you had a gunslinger, like if Ruggs was on the Chargers, like I think Ruggs would be really good on the Chargers. I think he needs people that are a little more risky, and Carr's very solid.
I look at Ruggs and Hollywood Brown very similarly. They both have kind of similar where they were taken in the NFL draft, so the capital is there, but they're just more the speedster. I think that every team that takes those type of guys, they're hoping for Tyreek Hill, and then none of them are.
Ruggs is 6 foot, and Hollywood Brown's 5'9". So I mean,
like
they're definitely different receivers.
I feel like they're both 5'9".
I just think Ruggs is definitely more that deep threat. Hollywood's like that quick intermediate target, more of like a Landry type. But I don't know. Carr's been awesome this year. Top 10 value of the year. Okay, Nick. Wow. I think Carr for real football is a top 12 quarterback for real football. If he's your starting quarterback, you're going to be okay. He's not going to be the reason you lose. NIU, are there any runs that Zeke has been hit in the first 8 yards? That offensive line has been doing what it's supposed to be. How about the offensive lineman for La'el Collins for the Cowboys trying to bribe the drug test coordinator?
He's probably hanging out with Josh Gordon, and he's like, "Uh-oh, we're not going to pass this."
What was it, a 5-game suspension for that? I mean, I don't know.
How much would have been the suspension? Is it the same as the suspension?
6 games.
Yeah.
6 games so he gets suspended.
Is it the same as the suspension for failing the drug test?
I think it's 3 games if you fail the drug test.
Okay, so they did add
I think it goes 3,
time.
6, and then the season. I think
3 for the drug test and then 3 for the bribe?
I don't know. We'll call Josh Gordon and ask him.
Yeah, he probably knows.
Yeah.
Josh must have given a better offer.
Let's see here. Carr and Ruggs isn't a great match. Again, I just think Carr is uncomfortable throwing it to Ruggs. If Ruggs was on the Rams, I think Stafford would love to throw to Ruggs. I think it's just the offense isn't the right fit. But he was too fast for the Raiders not to take.
Sometimes taking care
Raiders
of the ball is the
love
right way
taking
to
fast
go.
players.
Yeah,
if it was the weed, it's only fines unless he is in drug protocol. Really? Is that what they fully changed it to now?
They have changed it so you can smoke marijuana if you're an NFL player.
So I'm guessing it probably wasn't marijuana. How do you think it's a great idea to bribe the drug test guy? Maybe he was already high at the time. Very plausible. But
he could have just been pumping steroids. Who knows?
Just a bonehead play.
Yeah. Well, if it works, you're a genius. If it doesn't, you're in trouble. That's the thing about bribes.
Yeah. All right.
It's a line in old school. I know how to bribe people. I bribe people all the time.
All right, we're going to start closing things up here. If you have any last-minute questions, if you haven't followed yet, why don't you slap that follow. Our normal show is yesterday, Sunday afternoons, the 12 to 3:30 games. We do basically up-to-date, play-by-play fantasy football updates and just, make assessments on news and just how the day's going in general.
Yep. Again, the sneaky pickup of the week of Ramondre Stevenson with James White being out. So
and Josh Gordon.
I'm going to will this into existence.
There goes Hurts for a little bit. How do you think it's great? Oh, we read that one. Judy would have been a great match for the Raiders.
NIUK with a paid subscription just to hear my voice. I appreciate it. I miss you, buddy.
Just hear there you go, NIU. I appreciate it. You didn't share it. I don't think you shared it because we didn't get the notification. Who do I trade Robert Woods for? What can you trade Robert Woods for right now?
Mike Williams, you could throw that out there.
Robert Woods or Marvin Jones Jr.?
Oh, I think you could get Marvin Jones for Robert Woods. I would make that trade. Let's try to think of other guys I would offer for Robert Woods. If you could get Robert Woods plus DeAndre Swift or plus maybe a Zach Moss or plus one of those medium tier running
Marvin
backs.
Jones, 9 targets, 11 targets, 8 targets, 91, 88, and 97% snap share. I'd trade Robert Woods for Marvin Jones. I don't like it.
I'll trade my Marvin Jones for Robert Woods. I'll actually throw that one out there tonight maybe. But
That's interesting. It is interesting. And again, you got to remember that they get to play the worst. They get to play the easiest record being the worst team. So they play Cincinnati, Tennessee, Miami, Seattle, Buffalo, Indy, San Fran, Atlanta, Rams, Houston, and the Jets and New England. I mean, not a tough stretch of games. There's a couple hard ones in there, but
we got a question from Pocket. So we talked about it a little bit on yesterday's show, but any take on Mike Tagliere, the Fantasy Pros fantasy football analyst who passed away from COVID? Yeah, we talked about it. Nick wasn't as familiar with him. I was a big fan. I watched a lot of the Fantasy Pros stuff. I use a lot of their tools on their website. Just super sad. Just a tragic kind of thing that, it does. It makes you like, I was a little bit shook. It just kind of reminds you of your own mortality a little bit. So just heart goes out to him, his family, all the guys at Fantasy Pros, all that stuff. I think
sounds like the GoFundMe. Yeah.
It's up to like 350,000. So just, a testament to like, the people that play fantasy football, we bust each other's balls. We, make fun of each other, but like, they're like a lot of good people with good hearts that,
for sure.
So yeah, we're glad to see that, the support that he's got. And we heart goes out to him. A lot of respect for, him and just all the stuff he did for fantasy football.
Absolutely. And really with this community and, reason why we kind of got into this is like, there's really not enough fantasy football content, like really big content to go around. So it sucks to see, one of the key, organizations kind of losing somebody, but, definitely sad news and wish the family the best for sure. Let's see here. Another person from Georgia.
Yeah, bonjour. Stole that from the footballers. Let's see. Howdy.
So are you also a Falcons fan? Because
no,
you got to win this week.
He's an Illinois guy.
Who was it?
That's my buddy.
Gotcha.
So Bears fan, another just hurting Bears fan. Might have to pivot to the Falcons, but they're also not doing great. Got the win off of the foot of Young Hoku. So I've been holding on to him on a team. I might have to look for another running back.
I think we haven't gotten this year's
kicker. Pardon.
We haven't had many games go to OT this year. I think I only remember 2 games going to overtime.
We just had the one that let's see, it was a divisional one. Did the Packers game go to overtime recently, or the Lions?
I don't think so.
The Vikings. I don't know. One of those. One of the divisional ones had an overtime.
If we can get that Discord link one more time, we'd much appreciate it. One hope point.
One hope point. That's all he had for a long time.
Cambo, imagine being a Falcons fan and a Bears fan.
Then he got 3 homo.
Yeah, it's rough out here to be a Bears and Falcons fan.
We'll get right against the Lions, get that win, start the Field Super Bowl run, and we'll be fine. But
Bears or Lions, what's the pick?
Gotta go Bears. Bears by 100 points.
Go Bears!
Don't do it, Nick. Pick the Bears.
The Lions are going to
No.
The Lions are going to win.
Thanks for coming out.
The Lions are going
Job's done.
And I hate it.
All right, so I think we're planning for Thursday. So we'll see you all on Thursday as Ertz busts a play, right?
Yep, and we got to raid somebody. I'm going to find us somebody.
All right, Zach Ertz, he's still alive. He's still on the team. Looks great. We're going to trade him in Dynasty.
Still a thing? All right, I got somebody.
Oh, with the Goldberg on the screen. This is a WWE podcast.
Yeah, you guys
I like it.
You guys want to go into a wrestling podcast?
Definitely. Let them know the Addicts sent you.
Why not? Right? All righty. I'll get you over there. Be nice. Say hi. Maybe stick around for a little bit.
That's not real
wrestling. Exactly. All right, everybody. Join the Discord. We'll talk there. We're going to hang out there for the rest of the night, and we'll see you on Thursday. All righty. Thank you.